What's up, everybody? Testing, testing. Can you see me? Can you hear me? We are live. We got a few people in the house. I am going to go over a couple quick announcements, and then we're going to get to this interview today, and it's going to be awesome. And this is an interactive interview, so you guys can feel free to ask questions. I do want to have somebody come and say hi real quick before I get started. Sunfish Queen. She's going to be doing homework and stuff, but
Hello.
thank you. She's going to be doing homework and being a good student while I'm going over this thing, but she just wanted to say hi to everybody. So it looks like Hobbs is in the house, already making demands. Off the Hook is here. He'll be the co-host today. We got Catfish Wrangler, awesome moderator, awesome supporter there. There's Live to Fish himself. What's going on, buddy? Hey. That's who we're interviewing today. Ted's dad's here. Hope you're doing all right, bud. I heard you had surgery recently, so I hope everything's going great with you. Yeah, I messed my back up like 5 minutes before this thing, so I was like, hopefully I can start on time. So I'm trying to take any quick motions side to side. My lower back, all of a sudden out of nowhere, is killing me. And I did do some heavy lifting yesterday, but it's weird that it just hit me right now. Anglerholics, how's it going? James and Lizabella, what's up? So there's Theo. So we got father, son, and Off the Hook all in the house. We got 3 generations of Polanowskis in the house. That's what's up. Thomas the Fishaholic, Scorpio, just saying what's up to everybody. What's up, Dark 30, chilling Indiana. Who else? KC Fish Page, what's up, brother? Yeah, nice hat. I appreciate that. That's one of my announcements I'm going to get to. Got some new hats, and they are for sale right now. Ronald, how's it going? Driving and listening. All right, Dark 30, drive safe, buddy. Appreciate you popping in. So, guys, we're going to be live, I don't know, just like an hour or two, however long it takes to go over some things. Just a short live, but a couple quick announcements. Then I'm going to share the link for my co-host Off the Hook and the interviewee, Live to Fish, to come up here. First off, me and Off the Hook's YouTube starter kit giveaway still going on. I've been meaning to put out an update for it. The entries will be ending, so I'm still accepting entries. We're still accepting entries for another few weeks. I'm going to come up with a big update definitely this week. I promise you guys it will be out this week. I'm in spring break. I'm in Kansas City right now. Going back to Springfield Tuesday, so I would assume probably Wednesday be expecting that big giveaway. So we got 10 winners, over $2,500 in prizes going out. Going to hook some people up. If you guys are interested in that, just let us know in the chat. We can give you some details. But yeah, big update coming out there. So make sure you're subscribed to me and Off the Hook Outdoors. Let's see. So yeah, that's the big thing. I will not be going live this Thursday. It's spring break, and I'm trying to make some time for myself, but also get a lot of things done. I think I'm going to do a live this Tuesday, so not tomorrow, but the next day, sometime in the evening, afternoonish. I've got a lot of mail to open up, some things to show off, so I'll do a probably fairly short live and go over some things. And then I don't know if I'll be live again this week. I'll try to if I can. But my normal Thursday live is going to be switched to Tuesday. I got a lot of awesome packages from you guys, new stickers for the sticker board, decals, whatever you want to call them, and some other things to show off. I want to give away a bunch of exciting stuff. So we'll talk about that, chat for a little bit. But I also want to work on some content over the spring break if I can. So stay tuned. Make sure you got that bell rung. A lot more awesome content coming out. What's up 9 years later? What's up, Dixie? Spring break. Yeah, so this is my week of spring break from college and stuff. So I'm not teaching this week, and I'm not going to classes, anything else associated with college. I do have some like final grades to give out because my class I'm teaching is over. It's only a half a semester. So I definitely have stuff I got to do and some research stuff, but it'll be cool. Anyone I didn't say what's up to, thanks for coming in. Let's see. So yeah, working on some new content. Stay tuned for that. Last 2 announcements. So real quick, I'm going to try to find. So if you guys go to eternalanglers.com, someone feel free to share the link. If we have any other Eternal Anglers people in the house, Ted, KC Fish Page, Anglerholics, whoever. I'm going to share the page here in a second. As soon as I find what I'm looking for. Because I wanted to share one of the cool things that they're doing right now, if I can find this stuff. So Ted, okay, there we go. Let's see. I'm going to share the screen real quick with you guys. Right there. Okay, so I'm assuming you're seeing what I'm seeing. All right. So top left, look, I'm fishing for cancer research. This says for Jan. I'm not sure who Jan is, but it says Eternal Anglers, today's a good day for a good day. Cancer awareness long sleeve shirt. And I thought we had some other cancer awareness stuff, but basically, if you buy this stuff here, this shirt, and I thought there were some other things. Ted, you'll have to let me know if you know more than I do. But at least this shirt right here, and I thought we had some other cancer stuff. Maybe not. But this item here, all of the proceeds, all of the profits that Eternal Anglers gets from that, so everything besides, like the shipping and the cost to make the item and everything, all the profit will go for cancer research. So they're donating a ton of money to cancer research. You guys can help out by purchasing a shirt like that. They have a lot of different sizes. They have 4 different colors, and they're pretty cool shirts. So I'm actually going to share the link in the chat, but I just wanted to mention that real quick. It's a great cause. So there's the link in the chat to take you directly to purchasing those items. And again, all profits for that will go to cancer research. And I think we've got some more things coming up in the future as far as like good causes, charities, things like that. So yeah, Eternal Anglers is a great group. I am very blessed to be part of their pro staff group. It's more like a family. We have a lot of cool people there, and we help promote each other, but also promote the brand. And they do cool stuff like that. What's up, Lloyd? Pennsylvania Trout Slayer, how's it going, buddy? I've been trying to catch your lives, but every time I wake up in the morning, you're already done live. So I'm going to have to catch one soon when I'm not sleeping in. What's up, Local Life? How's it going, buddy? And anyone else who really came in. Yeah, Eternal Anglers is awesome. They got a bunch of other great stuff as well, but only the cancer research stuff. The profits will go to cancer research. So yes, like Eternal Angler said, or like Anglerholic said, Eternal Anglers is on point. And I saw something from Casey Fish page that I went, go ahead and mark me down for a hat. I will definitely contact you guys about it. So that's my last announcement. And then I'm going to introduce the person we're interviewing today, talk about what we're doing, and then I'll share a link for them both to come up. So as you see, I've got the Navy one on. Brand new hats. I literally just opened the box. They're from Custom Ink, as you can tell. Comes with a little custom ink sticker. But yeah, this one is the like a coffee brown. It says Fishing's Good, SunfishKing. The back is that mesh material, so it's really nice for the summer when it gets hot. Your head won't get all crazy sweaty. I've got that, the blue, the pink. I've got a limited number right now, but if they do well, I can always order more. So pink, that goes right along with like that breast cancer awareness. I think pink is awesome. Sunfish Assassin is rocking a pink one of my old style, but these are brand new. Nobody has received one of these yet except for this one I'm wearing. And I gave one to the Sunfish Queen in this green color right here. She really likes that. These hats will be pretty much cheap as I can do them for and not lose money. $29.99, but that will include shipping to anywhere in the States. If you're outside of the country, then we can talk about shipping. It'll just be a little more expensive, and I'll try to work with you on that so that it's not ridiculous. But $29.99 for these hats. This is a black one, and that includes all shipping. So Casey Fish page, I'll get with you about that, and anyone else who's interested, my email is down below. I'll also put my email in the chat real quick. This is a khaki color there. So there are total 6 colors available. Like I said, limited number. These are somewhat limited time, but if they do well, then I'll purchase some more. So I'll put my email in the chat, and then let's get into what we are all here for tonight. So what's up, Gripping and Ripping Fishing? Those hats are epic looking. Appreciate that. That gray hat is mine, bro. What's up, everyone? I'll take that black one. And then he put the little emoji. Awesome, man. What's up, CBA? I'm so tired. What time is it there, Lloyd? So yeah, like I said, guys, got these hats for sale, $29.99, including shipping anywhere in the country. And just send me an email. I just put my email in the chat. Should be down in the description below as well. But we got 6 different colors for sale, and there's a limited number, but I will buy more if they do well. So today, what we are doing, most of you already know. If you don't, me and my co-host Off the Hook Outdoors, who I'll let up in a second, are going to be interviewing Joe from the YouTube channel Live to Fish, who I will also be interviewing in a second. Ted, feel free to share the link for Joe in here. And basically, he is a fishing YouTuber. He specializes in educational videos, how-to videos, tutorials, things like that. Really helpful stuff to help you guys with your channel, as well as awesome fishing content. And that's just a little bit, that's just a tip of the iceberg for what he does. So we're going to ask him a little bit about his channel, and you guys feel free to ask him whatever you guys want to ask. We're also doing a GoPro Q&A. So one of the most popular, if not the most popular, action cameras for filming for this fishing and outdoors content and lots of other types of content as well are GoPro cameras. So lots of you guys either use GoPro, have heard of GoPro, or are actually considering purchasing a GoPro. I have 3 of the GoPro Hero 9s. My dad has a Hero 7 or 8, I believe. Ted just got the new Hero 10. Some of you guys might have some older models as well. Great cameras, but there's a lot of questions that I'm sure you guys have about them. So feel free to ask in the chat. Stay along. I'm going to have some questions here. I'm sure Ted will. And if you guys ask questions in the chat, I'll either ask them right away or I'll mark them down to talk about them later, because we're going to try to go through this at somewhat logical progression. But I'm going to have him up here probably about an hour or 2, so it's not going to be a super long live stream. But yeah, feel free. It's interactive. Ask whatever questions you have. So let me check and get caught up in the chat, and then I'm going to show you guys Live to Fish's channel and then share the link for them both to come up. So yeah, green is fire. Appreciate that. Doing it up with the merch. I won't even think about that till I hit 1,000. Yeah, and that's a topic for a whole nother live stream too. Is I know a lot of people are like, when should I get merch for my channel? When should I get merch? If you have 25 subscribers, I wouldn't do it, but I've had merch since, I don't know, 300 subscribers or something like that, and it's really cool. But yeah, you're going to get a lot more interest in that once you have about 1,000. What's up, Hobbs? Central Valley just hooks that to his channel. First time ringing the bell tonight. That's awesome. What's up, Ranger Pete? How's it going, buddy? Quick shout out. This live stream isn't really about baits, but huge shout out to Ranger Pete. He's sponsoring a lot of giveaways we got coming up, including that YouTube starter kit giveaway. He makes some sick custom baits for bass and other species. His info is down below in the description, and he will work with you and get you guys some awesome baits if you're interested. He makes some really dope stuff. You guys will be seeing it a ton on my channel. And so he is the official channel sponsor for baits for my channel. So thanks for coming in, Pete. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. Cool. What did Hobbs say about Ranger Pete? I must have missed something. Right on, Hobbs. Send me some pictures of the fish you catch. Anyway, okay, cool. I'm shipping your stickers next week. Can't this week because I'm in Florida. Awesome. Yeah, and then you can send that one sticker out to Fish and Junk as well. So, guys, I'm going to share the link here for Live to Fish. I guess I'm going to share his channel. You guys can share the link. I'm going to share the screen is what I meant to say. But yeah, feel free to share his link. I'll probably do it as well. So let me just pop this up real quick. So Live to Fish, 703 subscribers. I'm sure by the end of the night he'll have 710 or more. Give me 1 second. Okay. What's up, Joanne? So here is Live to Fish's link. You guys feel free to share it as well, or share anyone else's link in here. We can all grow and stuff like that. So there's his link. Thanks for coming in, Big Tank Hank and Joanne. We're going to be asking a bunch of questions about Live to Fish and about GoPros, and feel free to ask your own questions. Interactive live stream tonight. So 700 plus subscribers. His about section says, welcome to my channel. My channel features fishing action, product premieres, product reviews, unboxing tutorials, and more. My specialties are fishing from the bank and from an ultra skiff on Lake St. Clair, and as many inland waters as I can find here in Michigan. So he is fishing in Michigan up north. If you want to be part of a community that seeks to help educate as much as learn from the angling community, and that's what I'm all about, you've come to the right place. I'll show you what works for me and hopefully can help you land more fish. Feel free to get involved in the comments and share your knowledge back as well. Hope to see you on the channel. And then he's got his personal information down there if you guys are interested. So again, this is Joe from Live to Fishes who are interviewing today. If you look at some of his video titles, let's go to the videos right here. You've got his reviews on some products here. You've got help on getting sponsored on YouTube or Instagram, how to get more out of your soft plastics, a bunch of tutorials, how-to, helpful stuff, and then just some outdoors content and stuff like that. So it's going to be awesome. I want to share one video real quick. I want to check. I'm going to unshare and then reshare just to make sure that I am sharing the audio, which I'm sure I was. but I want to make sure I'm sharing the audio so you guys can actually hear it. I'm going to share, it's a 30-second intro to his channel video. Before I share that, I'm going to share the invite link. So Joe and Ted, this is for you. I'm putting the invite link in the chat. You guys click that and get all set up and get ready. And this is only for co-host Off the Hook Outdoors and for I want to make sure my camera's working. Yeah. And for Joe from Live to Fish. So there's the link for you guys. Feel free to pop up here, just those two. And I will let you on as soon as you guys are ready and I'm done showing this video. So let me reshare that screen one more time. If you guys are commenting in the chat, which I'm sure you are, I'll get caught up on all that. Make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. Okay, so let's do this quick intro, and then we're going to get to the interview. Let's see. All right, here we
go. What is it about fishing? Is it the great outdoors? Is it spending time with family, loved ones, friends, being part of a bigger community? Sure, it's all those things. But it's also the hunt for that personal best. That fish that got away. The one that stole your lure. That's right. It's all about the big one. Welcome to Live to Fish.
Awesome, buddy. Love that intro. All right, so Ted is up here. We're going to wait for... We're going to let him on, and we're going to wait for Joe to get on up here. You got your chicken nuggets with you, man.
What's up?
What's going on? What's up, Freddie Fishing? How's it going, buddy? So I just found Freddie Fishing on Instagram. If somebody wants to find his link and share it, that'd be great. I'm all about growing and stuff like that. If you're in here, Joe...
Am I echoing?
Or something, let me know. Oh, here he comes. Yeah, I can hear you, Ted.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm echoing. Let me hit off. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I had to shut off the YouTube side. Sorry.
What's up, NKR? All right, we're going to let Joe up here. This is the guy we're interviewing today. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Joe.
So... as you guys probably know, up here next to me is Off the Hook Outdoors. He's going to be helping me with this interview today. But I want you guys to all help me welcome Joe from Live to Fish here. And so do you guys, before we get into this, do you guys have any channel announcements or anything you want to share with anybody?
I'm getting duplicate audio for some reason.
You just have to shut off the YouTube side. You're probably on StreamYard, Joe. So you might have to just go up to the computer and look. You'll have StreamYard and YouTube. Close the YouTube and leave the StreamYard open.
Okay, so just stay on the StreamYard?
Yeah, yes. If you have YouTube up, you'll hear it twice. Is it better now?
I got it. Yes, okay. I'm in.
Okay. Any channel announcements or anything you guys want to share before we get into this thing?
Joe, you're the guest. You can go first if you'd like.
Well, one quick thing. I just want to make sure I have the chat set up so I can see it. There it is. I see the comments now coming through. Have you guys subscribed to World's Fastest Tube at all? Are you familiar with Ray and his work?
Yes.
Nope. I'm not actually.
Did you see his latest video today?
Not today. I looked at the one he was doing his quads. He revamped his quads and something else.
Yeah, very disappointing. He decided to pull the plug on his channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm pretty heartbroken over that. I mean, the guy is just a wealth of knowledge. Mm-hmm. So, Ray, if you're out there, sorry to see you go, man. Really wish that wouldn't happen.
I was just about to ask for the link, but I guess if he's stopping his channel,
well, he still has his stuff up as an archive, but he's not going to be producing anything else. He actually shut the comments off because I guess some people had some words with him over something. I have no idea what. I can't even understand why with that guy, but sad to see him go.
Yeah, it's always sad to see somebody like that go who shares a lot of knowledge and is contributing a lot with their videos.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
What's up, NKR? Anyone else who just came in? How's it going? So what about you, Ted? Got any big announcements before we really get into this thing?
My biggest announcement is past weekend, I sealed the deal with Eternal Anglers. I talked to Nick this weekend, and all of my baits now my soft plastics that I make will be included in the binders, the fish binders.
Awesome.
So I talked to him this weekend. I'm going to make a whole bunch of baits, send him his way. He's going to fill the binders with my soft plastics. So that's definitely exciting news. So I'm looking forward to working with him and Eternal Anglers. I'm, of course, on the pro staff also. So, yeah, very exciting for me this weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know how that whole thing works, but I bought a bait binder right before I heard that, so I will not be getting those baits in there. But
I'll send them to you anyway.
You always do, man. I appreciate that. All right, so yeah, go ahead.
I see. Hey, to Joe from Parabellum.
Yep. What's up, Joe?
Oh, what's going on? And John from Smallwater Charters, welcome to the stream. So I gave a little bit of a short intro about your channel, just like an overview. Do you? We got a couple intro questions, and then we're going to get into some GoPro type questions as well, since you're sponsored by GoPro, which is really cool. Do you want to tell the people what your channel is about, essentially, in your words?
Well, pretty much what everybody else is doing out there. Fishing action during the fishing season here in Michigan. I don't do ice fishing, so everything during the cold months, it's going to be product reviews, it's going to be unboxings, that sort of thing. But for the most part, you're going to see a lot of fishing action, half from the bank, half from the ultra skiff. And for those of you that don't know what an ultra skiff is, it's like a big round bass fishing boat for one. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. What's up, Outdoor Conquest? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. And then I like to ask this question to anybody that I'm interviewing on the channel. When and why did you start your YouTube channel in the first place?
Well, I originally locked in the channel somewhere about 2019, and then just last year is when I started actually producing videos for it. It came about because on social media with friends and family on Facebook, people just got tired of seeing the fish pics. So they said, you got to have some kind of outlet where we can all kind of go to it. And that's kind of how it got started.
Very cool. Very cool. And I mean, I'm glad you started your channel, and maybe these people can learn some stuff from you as well, because I really appreciate the educational aspect to your content. Always helpful to have some tutorials, how-tos, and product reviews. I love that type of stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, great stuff. Do you have any goals for your channel? I'm sure you do. It can be short-term, long-term, whatever. Just what you would like to accomplish with this YouTube outlet.
Well, I know a lot of people are out there to get monetized. I'm retired, so I'm not really worried about gaining income from the channel. What I really want to do is just grow the community. And everything that I've experienced in the past year is exactly that. It's been amazing, the amount of friendships, the brotherhood that's been developed, and sisterhood as well through this channel. And it's been quite a ride. And I don't want it to stop. I want to see it grow.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I'm sure Ted can second that we've met a lot of really cool people through YouTube in this community. Is Ted freezing up a little bit on your screen?
Yeah.
Am I freezing up?
Just for a second, you're back now, so it's all good. What's up, straight to the point? But yeah, I was just saying, like just a lot of the people in the chat right now, we've met a lot of really cool people through here. I've fished with a couple people I've met through YouTube. I plan on doing a lot more of that. And not only do I hope that I've shared some knowledge with some of them, but I've learned a lot from other people in the YouTube community.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's pretty much my main goal, is just to continue to grow that community and to continue to be an aid, and also continue to learn back from the people that are subscribers and the people that I subscribe to. So
definitely. I couldn't agree more with that. What's up, Chris and Telly with Hooks and Hammocks? So, and
hey, Joe Nager, what's up, man?
Joe Nager, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, he's from our neck of the woods up here.
Now he said you don't ice fish yet.
Yeah.
He's going to try to convince you, I guess, make a believer out of you. So last question I have kind of about your channel, and then we'll see if Ted has anything he wants to add to that before I kind of get to some GoPro type questions and stuff like that. What would your advice be for newer or smaller YouTube channels, or anyone thinking about starting a channel?
Yeah, I just had this discussion with somebody the other day, and I'll tell you what, if you are on the fence about doing it, just do it. You don't have to necessarily have a plan up front. Put something together and follow your dream, follow your passion. Just do something, start something.
Right. Put yourself out there and see what comes out of it, basically. I know
Absolutely.
I was on the fence as well when I first started. A lot the same that you were. I was putting out a bunch of pictures of me catching fish and stuff like that, and a ton of people were like, hey, you should start doing videos, I think it'd be really cool. And at first I was like, yeah, I don't know, I didn't have a GoPro yet or anything, but it's actually turned out to be a really great
Right.
experience, and I'm just along for the ride at this point to see how
Absolutely.
it goes. So,
Yeah, it's been outstanding.
That's great advice. Ted, do you have any other questions like that you want to ask before we get to some more specific like GoPro Q&A related things?
Yeah, just for the viewers, Joe, what's your favorite way to fish, and what's your favorite fish to catch?
Well, I fish primarily for bass, smallmouth, largemouth, rock bass. It doesn't matter to me. I am on blood thinner, so I'm not a fan of toothy critters. So guys like angling spiders and that's their thing. That is not my thing whatsoever. And also, I'm not a fan of getting my bait stolen. Mega Bass Dark Sleepers have been going like candy for them. Not very happy about that. And I have quite a few videos showing that. But bass fishermen primarily. I love frogging. I love flipping, pitching, swim baits. Absolutely love throwing a swim bait. But I do everything from finesse fishing, Ned rigs again, one of my top favorites, to spinner baits. So I mean, I run the gambit. Everything you can do when you're bass fishing is what I throw out there.
Cool.
Very cool. I know Ted's mostly a bass fisherman as well, but he fishes for muskie and then a lot of some other species in there as well. I would describe myself as a multi-species fisherman, but who doesn't love a great bass bite? I actually just won a giveaway with some really nice bass baits in it recently,
Awesome.
and I just opened it today. So if you guys come in on Tuesday for my live stream, I will be showing off some of those and more. So
Cool.
Very cool. So, guys, again, if you're just coming in, we interviewed Joe here from Live to Fish. We just asked him a few questions about his channel and stuff. And so, I also wanted to make this like a GoPro Q&A. I know a lot of you guys either use GoPros or I've definitely heard of them. Maybe considered buying them before. So feel free to ask any questions you guys have about GoPro cameras or the company or anything like that. But I'm going to be asking some questions I've prepared. I'll give Ted, obviously, my co-host here, some time to ask questions as well. And then we can get to any of your guys' questions. So that's kind of what this next section will be about. We aren't going too terribly long tonight. Just want to get some good information out there. So you are sponsored by GoPro. What does that kind of mean? How did that come to be exactly?
Well, I guess you could probably show the video that I did. I was kind of doing something on GoPro Hero 10 Black just to show what the improvements were from the previous versions. It kind of caught their attention. It was kind of surprising to me. I did get a comment on my video, commented back, and then that created some dialogue. And before you know it, they offered me a sponsorship.
Yeah, well, I can share the link for that if people want to check that out. So what is the name
Sure.
of that video?
It is, let me take a look at my videos here.
What you need
It's
to know.
the
should
GoPro
you
Hero
upgrade?
10. Yep, that's it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a great video.
And now the funny thing was, like I said, when I went through that process, I had no idea the complexity of the contracts that they have you sign for exclusivity, that sort of thing. What was also kind of neat was that it led me to hookit.com, which is something that anybody can go to and look at some sponsorships. A lot of opportunities, not necessarily for fishing, but a lot of other sports. So that's something to check out as well.
Yeah, I actually filled that out. The hook it, I got on there and filled out my information. So, and I filled out the GoPro because they give you options what programs you want to go through, and I actually filled out the GoPro program to see. But you have to build up the points, and then they notice it ain't like you contact them; they'll contact you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's hookit.com. It says sponsorship evolved on there. I can share that link as well for you guys if you're interested.
And for those of you that have outdoor channels, so for hunting and things like that, like I said, there's a myriad of sports. Fishing, for some reason, is not one of their fortes. And I think the more people we get involved with that program, the more they're going to open it up to more sponsors. So I think it's a good thing that we all hop on there and start applying for as many sponsorships as we can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. So I shared that link, guys. That's hookit.com. All right. Thanks for that. Local life, I'm actually going to ask that question here in a little bit about the GoPro 10. So we'll put a pin in that, and we'll get to that here in a second. I got that note written down. What's up, Johnny from Icata Fishing Canada? So here is a question, I guess, for some of the people who maybe haven't used GoPro or maybe are considering them. But what would some reasons, in your opinion, be why GoPros make great action cameras for like fishing and outdoors content and things like that?
Well, I think it's durability. I think the fact that they're tested out in the field, and especially when it comes to extreme sports, we're far from an extreme sport. but I would consider us to be extreme conditions, whether it be ice fishing or say saltwater fishing. I think it's just the industry standard, more or less. Everybody tries to come up and imitate. Some people come up and try to innovate some new things, but GoPro comes up and just leapfrogs them and comes up with a better solution.
Yeah, the portability, I believe, is probably a really good one as well. They've got a lot
Without
of
a
different
doubt.
options for
Yeah,
chest mount, head mount, whatever it is.
Yeah, the accessories, the size, the compact size of it, just the sheer power of what the processor can do. And like I said, the video modes, the different settings that you have in there to customize it for what you want to use it for. Like I said, it's just kind of the industry standard.
I like how it has all the you can change whatever you like in the settings, for like
Yes.
ISOs, white, everything. I had written down my settings so I can bring it up here later on, not now, but
And that's the thing.
versatility.
Yeah, and I'm far from a videographer, and that was one of the things that I explained to them when they came forward with the sponsorship. I said, look, I am no videographer. I am not an extreme sportsman. They're like, no, look, we want something in your niche because we want to get more people involved in it. And so.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and that's something I need to get into a little more. I've done some messing around with settings and trying to kind of personalize it for what I need, but I know there's a lot out there that I haven't fully explored with those preferences and settings, and that's something I want to improve on.
Yeah, there's so many nuances and so many different things. Like, for example, when there's a low light setting and you're in outdoors, if you have it set to, say, 60 frames a second at 1080p, you might want to drop it down to 30 or 24 in that low light early morning hours to kind of drop that exposure rate a little bit. So you don't have to necessarily set the ISOs, but you can. Like I said, I'm no videographer, but there's a lot of different customization options you can use.
So I don't know if you know the answer to this, but Eric from Local Life Outdoors, he asked if the GoPro 10 is noticeably better in those low light situations over the previous models. What can you tell us about that?
I can tell you from what I've done indoors, it's not much different at all. So the ISO settings, whether it be that or whether it be the frames per second, aren't necessarily going to give you any more or any better indoor lighting because the GoPro bottom line or low light is not designed for that. Unfortunately. So it's designed for some optimal outdoor, whether it be an overcast day, but still outside outdoors, good lighting is what it needs.
And if I can add to that too, guys, real quick, like I set my ISO at like 3200. It's and it keeps it. I'm just reading it, but I'm writing down here. But it's better for darker, but and if you lower it, it's not so it's like not so grainy, but it'll be more stable if it's lower. But as you have to raise that ISO, it gets less stable and less grainy.
Yeah.
So it depends. You have to really research and look it into it. I mean, I'm no videographer. Because they say about 3200, that's where I like to keep mine for the darker situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ted, you're freezing up a little bit. I understood pretty much all that, but just to give you a warning, I don't know if it's happening on your end too, Joe, but he's just freezing up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could hear most of that. It's just every few seconds you'd freeze for like a second or something. Like it's just doing it right now. So I'm not sure what that is.
Let me get out of here and come back into it, King. If you share it, I think that'll fix the problem here. So if you could, let me get out and come right back. Yeah, let's do that.
Not a problem. So we'll get that figured out. I am sharing the link for him again. Okay. Shared that link. He should come right back in. This will answer some of the questions we've been getting in the chat and something that I've gotten this question a lot. But somebody's wanting a camera. Someone's wanting to buy a GoPro. They can't decide which model to get. Maybe it's a issue with the price. Maybe it's something else. What advice would you have for kind of choosing a model like the Hero 7, 8, 9, 10? Why choose one over the other and things like that?
Yeah, the bottom line, I would say, if you're just getting into it, go for what fits your budget. Don't break the bank to try to get into it. All the features, like I said, the quality of the video is going to be pretty much the same for what you're going to be doing, especially when it comes to fishing through all the models. What you're going to look at in the later models is stability correction, the horizon leveling, things like that weren't available in the earlier models. Also, processing speed's a little bit easier with the interface on the camera. Like I said, just try to fit something within your budget. My recommendation, go on, say, Facebook Marketplace and try to find a used model at an affordable price, and then find out what you like or what you don't like about that model. Because at the worst, what's gonna happen is you're gonna end up having to just flip that camera anyway. Just sell it for pretty much what you paid for it and upgrade.
Yeah, I agree with that. Does my sound a little better now, guys?
You look better and sound better.
So. Yep, much smoother.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate doing that.
No, I didn't. I'm on that old Dell computer, so I just switched it up to my phone. It's better on my phone.
It looks a ton better. Awesome. Yeah. So I go for my computer, and it's not the newest, not the best. It's just like an Asus computer. But I found that using a like a 1080p, like a high quality webcam, external webcam, and then using a microphone really does a lot, and it's not that expensive.
Well, I have an iMac Pro book right there in the other room, but my daughter won't let me touch it. So.
Who's running the house?
Yeah, so I got an old, 1991 Dell computer that I'm working off of in my iPhone, which I like my iPhone better. I learned everything on my iPhone, so.
Right. So Local Life just subscribed. He said I hooked that to you. That's kind of our lingo. If you see that for like subscribe.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Watch a video, comment, stuff like that to make sure it sticks with the whole YouTube being kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've seen a few hook sets in here on Live to Fish already. So that's
awesome. Let's ring the bell for that.
Appreciate it.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Still wild. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being in here. And so going along with what you said about to fit your budget, I've never bought one. I bought I bought 2 GoPro Hero 9s. Don't tell GoPro, but they accidentally sent me a third one, so I just kept it. And I was like, okay, that's a score right there. But I bought 2, and they're brand new. But what do you think about like a refurbished one? Is that something you would recommend or stay away from?
Oh, without a doubt. Refurbished products I wouldn't, stay away from. And like I said, even on the Facebook Marketplace, I wouldn't stay away from a used product. But the advantages, if you have the money to invest in, say, the latest model GoPro Hero 10, you're going to get things for like at the $349 price point, you're going to get the $49 GoPro subscription for free. And that's going to cover you for free unlimited cloud service, so you don't have to worry about external storage. You can just upload everything to the cloud and work your edits off that. They also have a program with free product replacement. You can replace up to 2 GoPros within a year. So that's kind of nice to have. Say something happens to it. I don't really know what could happen to it other than losing it. But that's pretty nice to have. And, obviously you get some good discounts, pretty deep discounts, actually. Actually, you get better discounts from that program. You get up to 50% off anything at the GoPro store versus with my sponsorship, I only get 20%.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that later on, so thanks for giving us that info. I actually have had the GoPro subscription since I got mine. That's because with the Hero 9, they were having some deal where it was $400 for the camera when it was new, or $350 came with that $50 GoPro bundle, which obviously that's a no-brainer right there. And so to answer your question, what you could do to a GoPro to need a replacement, you could be dumb like me. I was wade fishing in a creek, and mine kept overheating, which we'll get to here in a little bit. I kind of want to ask some questions about that. My battery was overheating, and so I had the hatch open, which is probably not the way to go about that. But I had the hatch open so it wouldn't overheat as quick. And I went to do underwater footage, and I was fishing with Show Me Creeks, and he saw me putting it in, forgetting to close the hatch, and he's like, "No, wait!" I stuck it in. It shut off. It was a disaster, but I went back to the hotel and I actually put it in front of a fan, and it seems to work fine now. I probably should have sent it in and got a replacement, because why not? But things like that, just not using it how it's intended to, that could definitely happen. And I don't know if they would still replace it, but it seems like kind of like
they have no questions asked. Yeah, no questions asked on that policy. So like I said, 2 a year, so it's pretty good. Yeah,
that I talked to Joe when I was doing my research on GoPros and stuff, and that's why I got the GoPro 10. I took your advice on getting that, and my wife was looking online. I got a really good deal. I got the GoPro 10 bundle kit with the tripod and everything. It was like $300, and so we got $200 off of it. It was like $371. Yep. So if you go and do your research and like check different sites and things like that, you can get the GoPro 10 for under $400 with a bundle and 2 batteries. So it's a great price.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Gripping and Ripping Fishing said some things that actually are leading to the next thing I had written down to cover. Was he said his latest video shot with the Hero 9 on chest mount and a Hero 10 on head mount. If you want to get an idea of the video quality and what those different angles look like, he shot them on 2.7K in both. And so he wants his videos to be at least 1080p. He knows that YouTube slightly downgrades your quality a little bit, so he shoots in 2.7K. That kind of brings me to what I was going to ask next is, let's get into a little bit of kind of what Ted was talking about, but also just some other things. So preferences and camera settings. I know, first off, what I do, I actually film at 4K. I don't think there's a huge difference between that or 2.7K. And obviously you've got, it's going to probably fill up your SD cards faster. It might overheat faster, things like that. I like, the little 4K next to my video. It looks cool having that.
Right.
If you want good quality, 4K. I field of view, I do widescreen. I don't do the super wide where you get almost that fisheye effect. And I feel like it's a little too narrow if you go to whatever the other one's called, narrow, standard, whatever it is.
The linear.
Linear, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I like that one.
Let's talk about that, as well as some of the settings you guys were talking about, and maybe some of the different modes that you can film in and things like that. So
Okay, I have notes on this, buddy. So I'm good to go.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead first. You're the guest.
No, my opinion is you're going to have to take the camera and test it out and see what works best for you. Again, what I do on the Ultra Skiff is a little bit different than what I do in the bank. I use a little bit of wider view on the bank than I do on the Ultra Skiff. I use the linear, but I also do 1080p at 60 frames a second. I know that gives me a disadvantage with that low light in the mornings, but those are my settings primarily.
Yeah.
But it's something everybody kind of has to find their sweet spot.
Yeah. Just for me doing research and everything, I'll shoot 5K 24 frames a second. With the linear line, I do the linear mode. I like that. And I do the hyper smooth boost. And then I'll go to the Pro Tune. And then I do all my little, and this is just from getting advice from other channels, outdoor channels that I've written down and taken notes from them. And then I'll go to the Pro Tune. I'll turn my bit rate to high. That's what it's on right now. The shutter, obviously you let GoPro use the shutter because it's automatic. So you let them do the shutter speed and everything for you. And then the EV comp, it's like what I heard, and I'd seen it when I videoed, and I'd seen the difference is GoPro has they overexpose everything, like on the auto settings, like when it comes in a box settings type deal. So when you go in there and you set the EVO to like -1, it doesn't add like the white balance. When the grass is green, they try to make the grass green. So what they do is they add the reds and blues to counteract that. So that messes around with it goes to the white setting. So you got to mess with your Kelvins. Yes, which is the Kelvins. And mine set at 5,500. And then on cloudy days, you can move that up to like 6,000. I think it goes to 6,400. But I do it to 6,000 on cloudy days. Like if I'm fishing out there and it's, no bluebird skies, I can move that up a little bit. And you can definitely tell the quality, but you got to mess with it. Sure. Like you said, Joe, when it comes down to it, you just got to go and play with your settings. But that's what I have it set at.
Right. So. And that's important to know too, though. Once you have it set at like say you have the higher definition settings, you have to look at what's at the back end. When you take that video back and you have to now go back and download that to your computer and you're going through the editing, you got to make sure that you have the space to do that. Yes. And also, do you have the bandwidth to work with that kind of stuff? There's a lot of factors you have to take into consideration. So I really recommend people just kind of try to find their sweet spot and find what works with the technology they have at home to work with.
Yeah, I'm sorry, King. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask do you have any videos covering that topic at all with different settings on your channel?
No, I don't. There's a plethora of YouTubers out there that have done those types of videos. So again, I kind of have given my 2 cents on what I do for fishing. But again, it's not kind of a catch-all. People really have to find what works best for them. Like I said, what works best for Ted, and his quality comes out much better than mine by far, I'm sure. But again, with the technology I'm working with at home, and just for the ease of use of the time that I have to do the editing, I prefer to have settings a little bit dumbed down.
Yep, no, that makes sense. And that's like you said, it's everybody's preference and how easy. Some people different skill levels, even with editing, because you got to know all those settings when you're editing.
Right. And you also have to know what your end user is looking at. You have to look at the demographics of what devices people are using. Are they using mobile? If it's mobile, you don't have to worry about a whole lot because it's shrunk down so much. Are they watching it on a computer? I watch YouTube on a TV, and I'll tell you what, I can tell a huge difference in some of the quality of how people have recorded videos by watching it on a full-size television.
I don't know if you guys have seen when you download your own videos on YouTube, and I'll watch it through a TV myself. I have a smart TV here, and it'll still be processing the 4K, and you watch the video and you're like, this looks like crap.
Right.
And then like an hour later you go, and I do that now, and then I look at it again.
And
it catches up, and it's like, wow, it's way better now, so it's kind of like, I wish they wouldn't put it up until it was all processed, but they do.
I agree. Because then you got those 10 early adopters that looked at it and they said, hey, great video. And you're like, no, it really wasn't a great video.
Right.
Exactly.
Come back
and see it again. Now it's
what I always do with that is every time I upload a video, and this goes more into like YouTube advice than GoPro stuff, but I always put my videos as unlisted. So you can go on there, you can watch your video. It's going to be 360, and then it's going to go up to 480, and it's going to just slowly process. So I will put mine unlisted. The reason I don't do private, if I'm adding cards or something to my video, those won't show up in the private. You can have those come up. You can actually comment on your video. You can also share it with certain people. You can share that link. No one will be able to find your unlisted video, but if you share the link with people, anyone you share it with can find that unlisted video, and they can give you some feedback. They can make some early comments on it, hit the like button, things like that. And then once it's full 4K or 1080 or whatever you uploaded it in, that's when I always go public with it, if I'm not going to, at that point, schedule it for another time.
So you wait till it's processed completely, and then and that's a good point. And I know you've told me that before, but sometimes I forget to do that. So.
Great tip.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I come out with the members-only early release of my videos, I might just go ahead and release that to them when it's lower quality. But I normally do unlisted if I'm not doing that until it's full quality. And then if it's not fully uploaded till 2 a.m., I'm probably just going to schedule it and look at my YouTube analytics for what time are my viewers more active, so that it's not coming out at a weird time when a lot of people aren't going to see it for 12 hours or something like that. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Just a tip, if you don't want your first few viewers, especially if it's at a hot time when a lot of people are active that you're uploading, to see a 360, looking like Minecraft or something, like an actual, just wait to go public with it until it's the desired quality would be my advice on that.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
I just want to say what's up to a couple people who just came in. What's up, Boring Fisherman, Trey Smart, JBT. My dad came in for a second there, Stacy Payne. We got Rich from Canadian Fishing Musician, Backwoods.
Did you see Straight to the Point's comment, King?
Which one?
He said so. He's as a member, he's getting lower quality.
I probably in the future, if I'm going to do early access for members, I'll wait till it's fully processed as well.
Hey Joe, we said we have a great crowd, but it's tough. It's a tough crowd also.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Exactly. So yeah, if I missed anything important, I know Trey Smart said I couldn't figure out my ISO. I've got my settings set to where I want them, except I haven't done, it doesn't sound like as much messing around with and tweaking as both of them have. I like my quality, but I'm sure if I mess with a couple things just a little bit, it could be a little bit better to what I want it. And so that's something I plan on doing in the near future.
And the higher, sorry to interrupt you, King, but the higher you set your ISO, it's better for darker situations, but then it messes with your stability and stuff like that.
Right.
So when you have the ultra boost and stuff on, that's going down as your ISO is going up. So if you think
the wider
of it
you put
way,
that range,
yes, if you think of that, is the higher your ISO, the less stable your stuff is, the less grainy it'll be, but the lower, the more grainy, the better stability. So it's like you got to have a happy medium between both.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Grippin' and Rippin' said if you're going to do slow-mo in your edits, you want to keep a higher FPS. To keep it smooth. That's a good point.
And that is where the GoPro Hero 10 shines, because you can do 120.
Yeah, and you can do what? It's 5.3K. It's 5.3 on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that really helps with the slow-mo.
Yep.
And one other thing I wanted to point out when you talk about the price point and when you should get into it, one thing with the GoPro Hero 10, if you're going to be doing any type of underwater footage, I noticed with my previous models, once I did something underwater, it would tend to get kind of a waterlogged sound. It took a while for that drain port to clear the speakers out. What they have now is they have a nice little port here. I don't know if you can see that. But instead of that little pinhole, they actually have a drainage port in there. It almost looks like the battery door, but it's different. But that allows the water to come out a lot easier. And they also put a pinhole speaker on the top that allows the water pressure to, or the air pressure to force the water back out.
That's on your power
it drains a lot quicker.
Side. Is that on the power button side?
That is on the power button side, so you don't confuse it.
Yes, I see it. Yeah, I have it right here.
Yep.
Yeah, I brought my GoPro with me too, Joe.
I know. If I knew we were doing show and tell, I would have brought the Hero 9.
Yeah, buddy, go get it.
Mine is actually in my car. 30.
I showed you mine. Show me yours.
Yeah, I do have a question before you move on, King, about the wind reduction.
That's definitely what I was going to get to. So yeah, good question. Yeah,
that's a good point. That comes under the accessories, and I'll tell you what. I was actually watching somebody that I subscribed to today. I'm not going to call him out. Hey, I see Bogely's there.
Bogely's, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Kevin?
That's a great channel. Bogely's is a great channel.
Yeah. Chris is good people. I just got his sweatshirt in the mail. But yeah, I'm not going to call out the person that did. The guy's got a pretty decent sized channel. But once he cut to the live footage, for the early spring bass, I'll tell you what, you couldn't hear anything. He had a music track going over it, and the wind noise was so awful you couldn't hear anything. It really kind of degraded the entire quality of the video. So one of the things I can't tell you enough, these little windscreens are on Amazon for any of the GoPros, and this will run you anywhere from $8 to $12. 8 to 12, and sometimes they have specials where you can get 2 of them for that price. This is a small investment to pay for the amount of time that you put out there with that wind.
I showed that to King the other day, the foam case over it.
I'm going to order one today. So
I can't stress enough. This is probably the one best investment you will make, and it will pay off in spades. I've had so many people comment on the video I did on the accessories that said, man, I picked one of these up and it made all the difference in the world. And it truly does. If you're going to spend that much time on the water trying to do quality video and doing the editing, make sure you get one of these.
Yep.
Is there any brand with that, or just whatever one you find?
No, I don't have a brand preference. I've actually only had to buy 2 sets. One was for my Hero 8. One was for the Hero 10, and they've lasted. I've not had any issues with them tearing or anything like that. So
awesome.
Yeah. No, that's definitely worth more than it's their cost.
Right. But with that caveat, I do want to say that Old Lady Angler, I don't know if you've subscribed to her at all. She had some neat videos. She's got a couple of Hero 10s. Now, she's had issues with them down in Florida overheating, and I'm sure these don't help with it.
Yeah.
She has waterproof cases on hers because with her kayak, in case they get dismounted, she wants to make sure they float so she can recover them and not lose them, of course. But I think that led to some of her overheating issues. So that may be a concern if you're in a warmer climate. It might be a trade-off for the wind. I don't know, because personally here in Michigan, I use these in the hottest days that we had in summer, and I did not have issues with it.
Yeah. I have another point to bring up later on after we do the wind reduction, but
for sure,
the wind reduction that I've learned that I get better, like when I was just doing my past couple videos here, and I was out in the woods doing a shed hunting video. If I turn my raw audio to high, and then you shut your wind reduction off, because supposedly GoPro, when you turn your wind reduction on, there's all kinds of stuff going on in the GoPro, and what that does is that actually decreases your sound quality. So if you shut the wind reduction off and then you put the raw audio to high, you'll hear everything you may hear, but it just sounds better. I believe that my audio sounds a lot better with that raw audio on high and the wind reduction system off. When the wind reduction system's on, it's doing something in there, and it's using your battery and it's processing different things, and it does bring your audio
it's compressing
quality down.
audio a little bit different too.
I think it is, and I think that's why the audio isn't as clear.
Yeah, you lose some of the quality
with that on. Yeah, so that's just something you guys could check it out and let me know what you think about that.
We'll do.
What's up, Alicia? Boring fisherman. I wrote that down. We'll get back to that ISO here at the end. We'll have some time for people to ask questions and stuff like that, and so I'll bring that back up. Backwoods Barbarian. I still use my GoPro for pretty much everything. We're going to talk about the app a little bit, and then battery issues, freezing, overheating, stuff like that, because I have some questions with that as well.
Hi, Alicia.
What's up, Frontier Survival? And then Grippin' and Rippin' said he fix the battery issue by buying an Anchor battery charger, and it keeps the GoPro running for 5 to 6 hours in the same battery. And yeah, I'm going to bring that up here in a little bit too with an external power source and things like that.
Yep.
Well, did you want to talk about the freezing? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up here in a little bit, actually. I was going to ask, do you have any experience with the GoPro wind reduction thing that goes over the mic? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's
the mod.
Media
mod.
No, I haven't gotten any of the mods. I haven't done the Max Lens or any of those.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hear that the media mod's good,
yeah,
but it's easy for an external mic. Like if you're using a wireless mic, like a Rode microphone or something, that media mod has all the connections in it. What I'm concerned about is when you wrap that media mod around it, can you charge it with an external battery source while you're using a wireless microphone? That's my only.
I bet you'd have to adapt it.
I have to look at that.
Make some adaptations to it and modify it.
Yeah. So that was my only concern with that media mod kit.
For sure. Let's see. Yeah, we're actually going to get to accessories and stuff like that, so I would love to talk about some of those things. Real quick, I do want to ask, do you have a recommended SD card for people that are going to be using the GoPro?
Yes, and that comes directly from the GoPro's website, and those are the I have them here, the SanDisk Extremes. Mm-hmm. They have a SanDisk Extreme. They have a Plus and a Pro.
I use the Pro.
Yeah. When it comes to the Hero 9 and 10, I believe the maximum size you can get is the 512 gigabyte.
I use 256, so I haven't got that.
You're
high,
well within that range.
That's what they 10, 11 hours of filming at 4K. So.
Yeah, more than what you need. And a lot of times, obviously, with the sales that they have, they'll throw in a 32 gig card. That 32 gig card is pretty much useless for what we do. That's something like when I sold my 8, I just sold it with a 32 gig card. I told them they probably going to want to upgrade that. But
I think mine's 126 or 128 that I have now.
Yeah, 128 should get you there, but 512. I mean, that's the max. But I mean, I can't really see you going.
No, I can't add to that. I didn't know when I'm doing live streaming that my GoPro is actually recording onto my disc. Okay,
right.
My last live, my disc filled up and my live stream shut off.
I saw that. Yeah, it stopped.
It stopped, and that was because now King says that his disc was full when he did a live stream. So I have to research that.
I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know if that's a GoPro 10 thing, if that's different from a GoPro 9, because he's using his 9, I'm using my 10, and my card filled up and it stopped. So I had to go in, erase all the media from my past lives too, and then I could get back on. So I don't know.
That sounds like there might be some type of setting in there that allows you to stream only and not record. Because if you're doing a live stream and you're doing it through the Quick app, I can't see why it would want to record what you're doing a live stream.
And that's what I use my Quick app on it. But maybe I have to go in there and see. I put it on video and I go live. So I don't know if that's when I put it on video, if it's automatically recording. Should I just be putting it on like a camera mode and let the app set the GoPro to what it needs to be?
I honestly don't know. I have not messed with that at all.
Yeah, I'll play with
let's
that.
Look into that, and then maybe we can report back to some of the people here with what we found. Because I know a lot of people do not go live from the GoPro, and we're a couple of the first people to do it on the on the the YouTube fishing community. So let's find out what we can and share our knowledge with people. I like that you've already uploaded one video on going live from the GoPro, so that's been really helpful, I'm sure, for a lot of people. Backwoods, I don't know if I agree with that completely with your issues with the GoPro. I have my issues with using my GoPro. I think the vast majority of those go from me just not knowing the right things to do to prevent the overheating and freezing, and I think there's a lot I could do, especially if you look at Live to Fish's channel. He's got some information on that. So we're definitely going to get to that as well, because a lot of people are like, my camera overheats a lot, my camera freezes a lot. And so I think it's a good time to get into that. Before we do, I do want to say what's up to Carpin down under. What's up, Jeremy, all the way from Australia.
Hey, Jeremy.
I need to get with you, Jeremy, because there are some perks and stuff with your channel membership that I've been slacking on. So I'm going to get with you on that, buddy. So thanks for coming in. So you want to talk a little bit about like the battery issues that a lot of people have with the freezing and overheating and how to kind of fix
since it's the end of ice fishing season, I want to just kind of tell you that if you're going to do it with the Enduro battery. These are proven to work in the cold temperatures.
I just
And I
picked
can
up a
say
few of those. Haven't used them yet, but
Yeah, I can say that from experience because I went out, it was 7 degrees Fahrenheit. I think the wind chill was probably sub-zero. I did roughly about an hour and a half on Lake St. Clair doing a sunrise video and time
Nice.
lapse. So that it was out there in the cold. Obviously, I'm not out in the cold with it. I'm in my Gladiator, warm as can be. But I had the Enduro in there. And the funny thing was, I thought for recording that long, it would have, ran out of battery power. It didn't. I had probably 20% left at the time when the sunrise came up and the video was done. So I was kind of surprised about that. But the Enduro battery lasted to where I've heard guys that were out ice fishing that had issues. A lot of them had it with the external battery packs. So that may have a lot to do with it. But the Enduro battery definitely does what it's supposed to do when it comes to cold temperatures.
Okay.
It will definitely keep ticking.
Now, let me ask you about the Enduro battery. Does that help with overheating? Does that Enduro battery not get as hot, or does it just help from freezing temperatures only? That's
Correct.
only what that's for.
Yeah, it's more adaptable to the low range, and it's more adaptable to a longer battery life at cold temperatures, because batteries don't like the cold. Plain and simple. I mean, look at car batteries. They just don't like cold. They can't keep their charge. So it's primarily for that. It has nothing to do with the top end or the higher temperatures.
Okay, good to know.
And now we're talking about overheating. That's an issue that, again, regionally has a lot to do with it. Putting the windscreens on it, putting something that keeps that airflow from circulating through there can have a lot to do with it. Yeah. But in Michigan, I haven't had a lot of issues, but it goes back to what I said that I record at. I record at 1080p at 60 frames a second. Once you bump up to 4K, once you're running that processor, that GPU inside that GoPro, that's obviously going to raise that body or temperature of the camera up and also heat up that battery. Yeah,
maybe on warmer days, maybe I will switch to a 1080 or something like that. Quality ain't much of a difference, I don't think, in that 1080 to 4K. Really so, and that processor's not running all the time and heating up. So maybe I can do that if it on hotter days, and hopefully that helps,
Right. Yep. It should. It should.
Give me 1 second.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to bring this up.
Just all the things. So the things you can do, again, to if you're dealing with overheating issues, would lowering the quality help with that from 4K to 1080?
Yeah, the minute you drop anything that's intensive, it's like a computer, PC, or anything else. If you are dropping the amount of processing power it needs to do its recording, the cooler it's going to run. So essentially, exponentially, and I don't know the exact figures on it, but when you go from 1080p to 4K, that is a lot of processing power that has to be changed over and divert that power. It gets warm, it gets hot.
So on hot days, maybe start it at 1080.
Yes, exactly.
That's
what I'm going to do.
Yep.
Yeah. What else? Do you think plugging into an external power pack would help with the battery not overheating at all?
Well, external power pack, again, if you're going to have the battery door open and attach it to the battery pack, anytime you're going to have unrestricted airflow, it's going to be a good thing. It's no different than having a laptop sitting on a carpet floor. That's not the ideal conditions for it. You want those fans to be on a hard surface where you can get some airflow through and cool down that processor. It's kind of the same thing with the GoPro. If you're not going to have that battery door open, it's not going to help it, but it's definitely going to help it having the door off versus having the door on.
Yeah. And then don't pull a Sunfish King and stick it underwater with that battery hatch open, because the batteries themselves are not waterproof at that point.
Yeah. Now on my setup I have here, Joe, this is that SunFishKing battery pack that you told me to get. I got that. It has all the GoPro attachments right on the battery pack. It's awesome.
Yep.
The back lights up. It tells you your predator. It's great. It's completely waterproof. I can dunk this in the water, but I can't do it with the door opened.
Correct.
But this battery pack here, and I talked to you about this, Joe, is the battery is inside there. Okay. And I can't run this battery pack with that battery out.
Right.
The GoPro tells me that this battery pack doesn't have enough power to run the GoPro by itself. Okay.
Because it's a charger and not an independent power supply.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now this, my off the hook battery pack, it's just a sticker on a battery pack, and I bought it at like Sam's Club. Okay. So this is this will run my GoPro without the battery in it. And that's what I was doing my live stream, but I switched to this on my live stream.
Is that the On brand, the ONN, that comes in the orange package? Because I have some that look just like
this
that.
one right here?
Yeah.
This is an ONN off the hook version, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
The special edition.
It's the off the hook special edition with the sticker.
Well, Ted, I guess let me ask this: what's the advantage to having the battery in or the battery out with the battery?
I was
pack?
thinking,
I personally would like to have the sub-TIG attachments, for the GoPro products versus having to duct tape that thing onto my,
yeah. Now I have the attachments are awesome with this thing. Okay, I got it on the tripod right here to my little thing here, so I set that up like that, and we're good to go. And the tripod slides down, comes up. The battery, the advantage, I thought we were trying, King and I were doing this a while ago, and Trey actually from Grippin' and Rippin' actually had his GoPro on our live, and he took the battery out and plugged it into an external battery pack, and it ran. So I was thinking, if it's running the GoPro with the battery out of it, there's more airflow in there to cool it, keep it cool.
Sure.
Okay. If the door's open, if the door's closed, if you buy that door with the hole in it, it's sealed. So it's still going to get warm in there. But I figured the battery not being in there and running it from an external battery pack would keep it cooler than it would with the battery in it. And that was my only thing that I meant about that. But if I pull this battery out of here and I turn this on, and let me see if it's let me see if this does this. I guess I got to plug it in too, Joe. That's always helps when you plug it in, right? So it's on there, and then it says not enough power. Your GoPro will power off. Connect to a 5-volt, 2-amp power source or higher. Okay, so that's with this one. Now my light might go off because this is powering my ring light. Now when I plug it into my battery pack here,
yep, you can see the light.
You see the light? Okay, now.
Yeah.
It comes on, and I hit OK. Hold on. Okay, now it's on.
Right, and that's what mine does too.
And there's no battery inside of it. Okay.
Yeah. What I would add to that is another advantage of having the battery in it. I know you said that overheating was something you'd be concerned about. Maybe the batteries themselves overheat. Let's say you're going live though, and this would be an advantage of keeping the battery in. If for 1 second you lose that connection on that being the only thing powering your GoPro, your live ends just like that, and you got to start your live over, try to get everybody in there.
Yep.
Because when I've done lives from inside, I haven't figured it out in the field yet because there's always Wi-Fi issues, and we're going to try to get that worked out and share our findings with people as well. But live from the GoPro in my apartment, I've tried both. I've tried it with the battery in, with the battery out, and I think I lost that connection at one point, and it ended my live stream with the battery out because I was trying to keep it from overheating. But I'm in an apartment. That overheating shouldn't be an issue. When I went live again, I put a battery and that external power pack so that it would continue to charge. And that works great. If you're close enough to an outlet, you could do that as well. You can plug it straight into an outlet if you're inside. Yeah, which is another thing.
Yeah, my settings right now are 4K 60 linear. That's what I shoot at right now. Like when I do my lives, I like the linear because it doesn't give you the fisheye. So, that's cool about this GoPro that it does that. And we skipped the color that GoPro gives you, the auto color. What they give you in their like auto package, like when you open up the box, it comes like that. I move it to flat sometimes. I put it on flat color, and it'll still keep everything, but I think that the quality is a little better in the flat mode. And that's just me. Let me get this off of here. But yeah, I like doing show and tells.
For sure. Yeah. So if you're live streaming from that thing and you've got a battery in and you're plugged in, what I was saying is if it comes unplugged, you've still got a battery in, so your live won't end instantly.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I like that. But I was thinking of but if you overheat, it's going to end anyway. So I figured if you could get rid of that, then and you won't overheat. As long as you stay plugged in, your live will go better. But if it comes unplugged, it's ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they both have their applications for sure.
Yeah. So, but I got to get that trap door that you have, Joe, on your channel. I got to order that probably this week. It's like $13 or $14. I'm going to definitely order that. Much. Now, do they make for this sub TIG, Joe? Like, you know how the back unscrews and it's completely waterproof here?
Yes.
The back of that. Don't they make a waterproof plug to screw into this for GoPro also? So I could dunk it in while it's plugged into my GoPro with the trap
No, I
door?
haven't seen that. I know they have the plug for the SupTig, but it's kind of silly because once you take the plug out, that's how you plug the USB in. So now it's not
waterproof.
Water resistant, but not waterproof.
Exactly.
But
so
again,
that's
for
why
what I'm using it for, I only need it for the water resistance.
Yeah, I'm not dunking my whole camera in with that battery. I'll dunk my camera in before I do that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll use my old GoPro to do the underwater footage.
Yep. True.
Yeah.
So, Live to Fish, I don't want to keep you longer than you want to stay. I've got a few more questions, and I've written down a couple questions people have asked in the chat. Are you needing to go anytime soon, or can you stay for a little bit longer?
No, let's keep rolling.
Totally awesome.
As long as we can help people out, that's what I'm here for.
All right. Just want to make sure I wasn't keeping you hostage here if you had something to get to. So.
No, I'm kind of old, so I mean, I have an early bedtime. With this hour ahead, it's like 8 o'clock. So it's
and you're out ahead of me. So.
Yeah.
So, anyone who's asked questions recently in the chat, I've made a note of those. We're going to get to some of those things for sure here in a little bit.
Hey, King.
Yeah.
Dark 30 just put up, do you feel that underwater footage is critical? I'm assuming, is it critical for your channel, basically?
I'm way behind. I think I don't think it's critical for anyone's channel unless their channel niche or whatever they do on their channel is all about underwater footage. If like Fishing Magician 2.0, for example, he does a lot of live stream catfishing and stuff like that. Lately, he's been doing a ton of underwater footage. Now, he doesn't use the GoPro. I think he uses another camera, but he has this rig so that his camera floats a little bit above his weight. His bait sits right in front of it, and he actually watches the fish come and react to his bait. And if that's what a lot of his channel is going to be about, then I think that might be critical for him. I think for most people, it's something that's just going to add a little bit to their videos.
Yeah, I think
I love seeing that stuff personally. I think it's very
stuff.
cool. I love seeing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and
I like the underwater.
I have not been scared at all to just dunk my GoPro Hero 9 underwater. I've done it a ton. I know a lot of people, it's their only camera. They spent $300 to $500 on it. They're like, I am not sticking this thing in the water. I'm too scared. I don't put it in a waterproof case. I'm not saying I recommend, being as careless as I am. I stick my thing straight in the water. It's GoPro Hero 9. It's supposed to be somewhat waterproof. So
you get 2 cameras a year with the subscription.
If it dies, I send it in. I get a new one.
Yeah. Now go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, what I was amazed about. I did a little bit of underwater footage last year, and I did one with like a shaky head demonstration and put mine in the water on the riprap. And I was absolutely amazed at how much sound underwater the camera picked up. It had every single tick of that shaky head hitting the rocks.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
It was pretty amazing. I was very surprised at how much audio perception it took underwater.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I was doing more of it.
I was doing a live before I started doing lives on YouTube. I practiced on Instagram. Okay. And you know how you download it to like the UF channel or whatever it is from Instagram. And my daughter was on a boat. My phone was on a tripod and we were fishing. And all of a sudden I heard something. I look and my daughter's reaching over and the tripod's in the water and my phone's in the water. And she grabs the tripod up and lifts it up. So I went back and looked and you see the side of my boat. It was great footage, but it was my phone went in and come back up, but I have a life-proof box, so it was totally fine. But I was like, that's not going to be good. But I got the side of the Ranger boat. You seen it dunk in. You seen the Ranger boat symbol, but it was upside down, and it went in. You hear bloop bloop, and you could hear all the little pops and things of the bubbles and stuff like that. So it was really cool. I was like, man, that's awesome. So I haven't done it yet though, but I'm going to do it probably this year. Yep,
I would definitely want to do more as well.
Yeah.
There are a couple more things. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, good. I like the slow-mo releases. I'm a big fan of the slow motion fish releases. I think it's neat.
I guess that's something I kind of skipped over with the settings and stuff like that. For anyone who doesn't know, do you want to talk a little bit about like the slow motion mode, the time warp, the time lapse, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, they all have their purpose. Like I said, I've done the time-lapse stuff for sunrises, sunsets, but for recording and doing the whole fishing experience thing, I can't stress enough to people to try that loop mode.
That's what I was going to say. Please say that.
Instead of doing full recording where you have to go back and edit hours worth of footage, if you set your loop up to every 5 minutes like I do, you have 5-minute segments you have to go back and edit through.
Right.
So what that means is it's recording on a regular basis, and every 5 minutes it overwrites itself. So the minute I get a fish and the minute I get done with the release and I'm getting ready to throw it back out again, I hit stop. I know that 5 minutes of history is now locked in as a segment. And then I hit record again, start back on that 5 minute loop and start casting off again. So I know each 5 minute segment, I know for a fact has good footage and a good catch. I don't have to search through everything to find it.
And that's what we were talking about yesterday, Joe. So when you go and hit that button, like not using voice record, obviously,
right?
Hitting that button, that gives you that 5 minutes. When you hit that button, it locks that, it separates that 5 and records it onto your SD card. And then you go back into loop mode again, and then you hit it.
Yeah, think of it when you're on loop mode, think of it as always being recording. So you're just, once you hit the record button, it drains the battery because you're always recording. But as soon as it hits that 5 minute mark, it starts over recording what you've written to it.
Okay. So unless you hit that button, it'll just go over itself
every 5 minutes. Yeah.
And
so
then
anytime something happens.
If you catch nothing the whole day, you'll have 1 5 minute segment, and that'll be the last 5 minutes of your day.
Okay. But if you hit that button, then you'll lock that in, and then you go to the next 5
and then you have to hit, then you have to hit record again to start the next 5 minute loop.
Gotcha.
And it works out. Yeah,
that's all. I like that idea. I'm going to definitely try that.
A lot of people really recommend that. I spend hours and hours going through an 8-hour day of recording because I just record straight. And I have no highlight marks to mark, hey, this is where I caught my fish. I'll have to sit there and scroll through a couple hours of something to find what I'm looking for. It takes forever. I've been too scared so far to do the loop mode because I don't want to miss something, but I feel like it would save me so much time and I wouldn't be struggling as much to get content out if editing was a lot quicker process for me.
Yeah, and I've talked to a lot of the guys. Oh, yeah. I've talked to a lot of the guys that did ice fishing this year, and the loop mode would have saved them because with ice fishing, it's a little bit different than when you're out there with, say, multi-species or bass. We're going through a process of casting and drawing it back in, getting that bite, fighting the fish. With ice fishing, it's in and up. And that catch on that segment is such a small period of time. When they're going through and editing, you really have to watch for that stuff. It's not as easy as just kind of skimming across to say, okay, here, I can see my pole bending, or, I can see the fish getting hitting the lure. It's a little bit different. So that kind of setting, especially when you're doing ice fishing, can be a lifesaver. And it goes back to also, you can use the voice commands, or I highly recommend getting a remote if you have more than one camera.
Yeah, I'm going to do my lives or my fishing from the third view. It's going to be mounted on my windshield. I talked to you about that. But I like the voice. I like the voice record mode because I'll have a camera on my head, which I like the head mount better than the chest mount. That's just my preference. But I'm going to have that other camera. So I have 3 cameras on my boat. The camera will be on my windshield, getting my whole front of my boat. And when I'm on there, usually when I'm slowly fishing or wacky style, I can feel that fish hitting. So last year when I was recording, I felt that fish hit. I'd hit the button and I'd set the hook and that would be my fish. Well, with that voice record, I could just say GoPro record and then boom, it should start recording. And then I could do that and it'll give me that action shot. And then I have the fish view too, So I really I think that's going to work out great for me this year with that setup.
And with the loop mode, you can just have that going and you won't miss the hookup if you want to make sure you'll never have to be like, okay, I need to start recording because I just hooked up with a fish. You'll capture the whole thing. Like that. And so straight to the point, what's up, Jared O, by the way? Straight to the point said, can loop mode be adjusted? You said yes, you can adjust the time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I keep it at 5 minutes because I don't want to have to go through and try to edit. I wish it would actually go a little bit lower than that because even, some of the hardest fights I've had with some pike or some, larger fish, it's still, I'm wasting probably that 2-3 minutes of that going through editing, trying to get that out of there.
And I guess having it in that loop mode, like you said, everything has its plus and minuses. I won't have to worry with my external power pack. This something it'll last all day, probably 2 days with that thing. So I'm not worried about the loop mode on that. But if I didn't have that, then I would probably go with the voice record. That way it'll shut off and won't use the battery as opposed to be looping all day.
Right.
So it has this plus. I would definitely get the external battery pack like this with the the attachments on it, because that's it's very small. I mean, you can mount it on your chest even still.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I did that in my presentation with that subtig. I had it mounted, and it's actually pretty nice because
it's up
it puts the view up a little higher, so your hands aren't in the way of your hook sets.
I like that idea too. Yeah, I'm just a big fan of the head mount, and I don't know about putting this big thing on my head, but
that would.
But I would use it on the chest mount, definitely.
Yeah. So that was probably like a big like a big kind of commercial right there for why you should use the loop mode and some of those things. So I say
I like
anyone who's trying the GoPro out or hasn't tried the loop mode, definitely try that. Sounds like Joe can't stress that enough.
I know that I've missed hook sets before with either the manual or with the voice commands. I've had it before where it just would not hear me.
Yep.
And I'm shouting like a maniac and getting all frustrated because it's not like turn on.
And the next boat over there is wondering what the heck is he talking? Who's he talking to? Is he crazy? He's talking to himself and yelling. Yeah.
Or you get those, smart Alex that they think you're in their fishing spot, so they kind of yell, "Hey, GoPro, turn off!"
Yeah.
And it's like, thanks, I just lost recording.
I do that to my friend all the time because he uses voice commands. He looks like he wants to kill me when I do that.
Now, Grippin' and Rippin' had a comment about getting a Yola-Tech stick. I don't know if you guys saw that or not on here.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of like 7 things I want to address from the chat.
But yeah, I know Trey asked, he has a Yola-Tech stick. I guess that is his GoPro's on that, and it plugs into his boat, his light post of his boat, and it keeps it rolling like that and powered up all the time off of his battery.
Excellent accessory. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
How much do they run? I don't even know how much they run. Trey, if you're in here, how much you pay for it, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, feel free to drop that in the chat, Grippin' Rippin'. So yeah, that was the, what was I trying to say? The loop mode. I did want to say for anyone else while we were talking about modes, if anyone, because I know a couple people have asked me before this thing, they were confused about what time warp and time lapse was. The way I understand it, think about it this way. Time lapse is when your camera is sitting still and the action is moving in front of the screen. So like a sunrise, sunset, watching, if you're going to be setting up the camera and fish for like an hour and you wanted to see it like super fast, whatever, as the sun goes up or something. But time warp would be more like you want that stabilization. So let's say like you are either like hooking it up to a bike or to your car and you're driving around and you want it to go super fast, but the camera itself is actually moving while the background is somewhat still. That's the way
exactly what it is. The time
lapse is taking a snapshot every couple of minutes, and the time warp is taking multiple shots and just kind of making it cutting out a lot of the frame after frame to try to kind of speed up the.
I'm amazed how smooth it is. I tried it out when I first got my GoPro. I walked around campus at my old university, and I walked around everywhere trying to hold it still, and then I realized like you don't have to even hold it super duper still. It just looks smooth when you go back and look at it. It's really cool.
When you talk about stability, that's one of the things I want to touch about on the Hero 10 also is the horizon leveling, and that's something where
you're turning
years past, when you're turning it, once you turn it past like a 45-degree angle, it'll start flipping. But for the most part, you can be on the boat, you can be on the bank and bending over and leaning, and that horizon is going to stay steady, and people don't even know you're moving around.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's really
neat.
I
did that with mine. I was sitting there, I'm like, the camera was like this, and it was still flat. I was like, that's neat, There has to be some kind of liquid, something in there that keeps that doing that, It's pretty awesome at that. The technology is amazing in those GoPros.
I mean, I know we've all had those old videos where we go back and look at the footage and it's like, man, I'm getting sick watching my own video.
Yep, I have for sure.
It's a little too much motion.
Yep.
No, that was one of the questions. That horizon thing was one of the questions somebody actually asked in the community post when I said, feel free to give me your questions. So they asked if it was worth it, and I would say it definitely sounds like it is. Now, is that in the Hero 9? Is that in the Hero 8? Like, when did that become a thing?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it's on the Hero 9 because like I said, I jumped from the 8 to the 10. It's on the 10. It was not on the 8.
Yeah. I think it's
just had
stabilization, but it didn't have the horizon leveling.
Yeah. Dark 30 Outdoors said it's $130 for that stick, that Yola-Tech stick.
But worth every penny.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For sure. What's up, Jeremy Albritton? We are, if you haven't been able to tell, obviously by now, he said, what's all this now? Welcome to the stream, first off. But we have Live to Fish here up next to me and obviously Off the Hook down there. And we are interviewing him. We asked a few questions about his channel. And now we're doing kind of like a Q&A about GoPros and filming with GoPros and some of the questions involved with that. And he's been super helpful. He also has some content on his channel. So I'll share the link here again, but it's also in the description. Go check out some of his videos if you want to find out some more about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And for those who don't know, Jeremy Albright, and his nickname is Pork Chop. Just so you know, he told me the other day in my live that that's his nickname, Pork Chop.
Well, there's 2 pork chops in the fishing community then, because William Warner, I think his name is
also
pork chop,
okay.
So. Straight to the point, I had a question about loop mode. I think this is a good one. If you hook your fish at 4 minutes and 45 seconds, he said, what happens at the 5-minute mark? You should be fine, right? Because it starts recording over the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that doesn't record over the end. It records over the beginning. So you got it.
Within that 5 minutes, if it starts recording, it records it for 5 minutes. Yep, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to definitely use that.
Because you can catch it at 4 minutes 45 seconds. You can take another minute to haul it in. Now you're over 6 minutes, say, but it captured that first 5 minutes of that.
From the recording.
I should say the last 5 minutes. From the time that you hit stop, it goes 5 minutes back.
Yep, gotcha.
Does anyone know what Jeremy mean? He said, "Does anyone use hindsight?" Does anyone know what that is?
Yeah, that's. Go ahead. No,
you
Joe, you answer that one.
Yeah, hindsight is it works a lot in the same way that like police body cams do. They have a pre-event recording, or like police cams in cars. They have a pre-event recording, which means for 10 seconds that is always recording. So it's kind of similar to the loop method where it's doing every 5 minutes. But this is more about like 10-second intervals. Like say you're waiting for a motocross bike to come over a jump, but you can hear the motorcycle. You don't know when it's coming over. You just hit it on that and you wait. And then as soon as it hits over, then you start recording. It automatically grabs 10 seconds before and adds that to the video you're now recording in real time.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, but
I know I don't get it, but that's really cool.
It's kind of like, but it's kind of like looping. The disadvantage to it, and that's one of the reasons why I went with the 10 also for the upgrade. The disadvantage to it is that unlike looping, where you can just go back and hit it again, you have to actually reset the camera and tell it to be in that mode each time you do it.
I got you.
Yes.
Now, is that only 10 seconds, Joe, or can you put 30 seconds?
Yeah, you can adjust that.
Yeah, because on mine, when I press the hindsight, when I press the button, it starts counting up. It'll count up, and I have always done 10 seconds, but I think it's whatever you stop that at is when it records behind it. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Unfortunately, when I got my GoPros, I only had the Hero 9 available because it was a year ago. So I would have definitely got the 10 if that was available at the time. So I'm missing out on some of these features.
And that's why I got the 10 from Joe. I was like, man, I don't know what I want if I'm going to get the 8. I heard everybody saying the 8. Joe's like, you won't go wrong with the 10. Just get the 10. And I said, okay.
Right. If you can afford it, like I said, it's all a budget thing. If you can afford it, do it. If not, you got to do what fits your budget. Don't go overboard.
Yep.
Guys, I tell you what, I got to take a quick bathroom break. So I've been just chugging this monster, if you can't tell. So I got to go really quick. I'll be back in about 1 minute.
Okay.
Would you mind answering Local Life? He said he just brought the GoPro remote. He hasn't used it yet. What are your thoughts? And I'll be right back in a second. Ted, you can fill me in if
no problem. But
later.
Did you want to talk about that, Ted? Or
go ahead, sir. It's all you.
Well, when it comes to the remote, I don't have a remote for mine, and only because I have only one camera. If I had multiple cameras, I think it would be a must. But because I use the looping, I don't really find a need for it. But overall, I would definitely prefer the remote over, say, the voice commands. But again, that's just me. But I think it's beneficial when you have more than one GoPro operating at the same time. And again, I'm going to refer you back to Old Lady Angler. She's got several GoPros on hers, and she uses a wrist mount for her remote. And I think it comes with the strap for your wrist. But when she's got a fish, she's got one that's recording in loop mode, but then she hits it and the other two automatically are synced. The only thing you have to watch out for and be careful for when you buy the remote is that they're not compatible across all the different versions. 9 and 10 are compatible with the same remote. The earlier versions are compatible with the same remote, but you can't mix it. So if you have an 8 and you have a 10, you're not going to be able to use one remote for both of them.
And that let me just add to that, and that also works for any accessories. A lot of the accessories out there, the 9 and 10 are compatible with each other, but not the 8.
And that's the main thing when it comes to batteries. The battery size is different between
10.
The 9 and 10 are compatible.
Yep.
But anything before that, 8 and below, you can't use those batteries.
Yep.
Correct.
What's up, Feared Fishy and Boxy Outdoors? Welcome to the stream.
Boxy.
See, I'm way behind on the chat here. What's up, Tyler Goes Fishing? Have you hit your 4K watch hours yet, buddy?
I can't share links because I'm on my phone. I don't know if anybody wants to share Live to Fish's link again.
Yeah, I can do that actually real quick.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll share his link. If we have any other moderators, feel free to share other people's link. You're now at 705 subscribers, so he's gained a couple during this thing.
Make sure to watch. Yeah, watch some and make a comment.
Keep in mind, we're going to have a 700 subscriber giveaway coming up, and that's going to be off. Again, I have a video on the Wall of Fame here. in the fishing hut, and that's going to be something you're going to be able to select what you want. I'm not going to put together packages anymore. I'm going to let you pick what works best for you. And the Wall of Fame is essentially, let me give you a little bit of history on that. This is a pegboard that I set up in my man cave that says these work, and they're tried and true. And then I have boxes upon boxes of stuff that I'm going to go with on this season, stuff from last season that didn't quite work out for me. And it's either going to make its way to that or the Hall of Shame. The Hall of Shame, there's a dumpster that I'm going to be throwing stuff in, and maybe I'll give it away. Maybe I won't do that to you because if it didn't work for me, I don't want to be responsible for giving
Or you
away
could
stuff.
send me all your Hall of Shame ones, Joe.
There you go. There you go.
I second that.
I'll make them work, Joe. I promise.
Yeah. So I won't let them go to waste. We have an Anchor Bay Fishing Club here locally. I just worked with them on some donations. So I like to see the youth get involved in it. I have 3 kids of my own, raised them fishing. And as they got older, they have totally departed from that, which is heartbreaking. So any effort I can give to help other parents succeed where I failed is a good thing.
I don't know about the fail part, but yeah, you try. My kids right now.
That's all you can do.
My daughter, she loves to fish. She likes to hunt, but this year getting her out hunting was tough because she wanted to be with her friends. But can't force them. You just got to let them do their own thing.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah, I am all about with my channel trying to get the youth out in the outdoors, fishing, appreciating nature. I think obviously it teaches them a lot of really good life skills and things like that. So I'm good to get involved with. 2, personally, I know I would have gotten a lot less trouble if I was fishing a lot more when I was a kid, not getting into some other things. So I think that it's a great something to work towards and something to be passionate about. Because now if I get free time, one of the things I want to do most is go fishing and not, do something that might get me into trouble or something like that. I'm a college kid. I could definitely be doing a lot worse stuff than getting out and fishing.
Yep, absolutely.
And I'd like to add to that with the guy that's in here, Boxy. He caters to the children in the hunting and trapping community. He gives away a lot of things and gets the kids involved in hunting and fishing and trapping.
That's awesome.
So props to Boxy Outdoors for that.
Hey, Jeremy, congrats. He said I surpassed my 500. So it looks like Carpet Down Under passed 500 subscribers. Let's ring the bell for that.
Good job.
And then Tyler Goes Fishing is at 3,994 watch hours. So somebody just go over there and run one of his playlists and get him that 6 hours he needs. He'll hit that 4K. He has his 1,000 subscribers. He should be getting monetized if he wants to do that. He should at least have the option after that. So congrats on that, Tyler. That's awesome as well.
Dark 30 is pretty close too in his watch hours.
Oh my gosh. Straight to the point. You see his comment. Joe sent me baits from a giveaway. I now know why. King gives me low quality footage and Joe gives me baits that didn't work out.
Hasn't gotten the hit yet, huh? It's an inside job.
That's
I got a few baits too, buddy. I could send you that don't work for me either, bud.
That's really weird. You must be on 4K or something like that. Backwood said he records 30 minutes on a GoPro 9. It fills up a 64 gigabyte card. That doesn't seem right at all. And then he said his Canon records in a higher res.
I don't know.
30 gigabytes. For me, 64 gigabytes should last a couple hours of filming, even at 4K, I feel like. So
now, I know weird. With the processor in the 9 and then the 2.0 processor in the 10, I don't know if it's, like if it's quicker, if it uses more battery life from a 9 to the 10. What the
kind
different
of card
processors.
Is it the right?
That was my question. Yeah, I would say it might be an
ultra high def card. It's got to be UHD.
Oh, there you go.
You want UHD and you want that number. I think it's 30 on there on the card.
You got to make sure it's formatted correctly too. That's the other thing that you can run into because it might be formatted and might have some data from another camera.
Could you guys explain that to the people and to myself, that speed on the card? What is the minimum and what is the maximum that you should have on your SD card for the GoPro?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I simply know that there's a huge difference between the UHD and the standard.
Because I see that number and I'm like, what the heck? And we did have a live, I think, with Trey from Grippin' and Rippin', and he knew the minimum speed was for the SD card for the quality. I think it was 30, what King said. I think it's 30 is the minimum.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and Dark 30 said all his cards are SanDisk Extreme. I think that's the way to go. I don't know if the SanDisk Extreme Pro is any better. I just know that from some videos I watched, that was the recommended one for filming high quality, and so that's what I use. They're not too terribly expensive either, so I would say just go with a good one. Don't get some random SD card. The SanDisk Extreme ones are the ones that are on the GoPro website, right? So you could just get them from there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, you can go right to GoPro's website. They'll tell you exactly what kinds to get for what models. They spell it all out for you.
What was funny on that was, when I was buying discs, SD cards back in the day, I was buying Sony, stuff like that. I'm thinking, oh, Sony, that's a great one. But when I did a Sony disc and now you went to the SanDisk, you could tell the quality in just the Sony and the SanDisk. It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, Grip and Rippin said 30 is what 30 on that little number on there, whatever that means. That's what allows 4K without freezing the GoPro or overheating, stuff like that. I mean, I still have freezing and overheating problems a lot, and so I got those Enduro batteries. Hopefully that helps with the cold, and then keeping my extra batteries warm to pop those in. With the heat, I'm going to try to go down to 1080. I think that'll help a bunch, and maybe keeping that hatch door open if I'm not going to be sticking it underwater or anything should also help, and then alternatively keeping my extra batteries cold and in the shade and not out in the sun. I think that would be awesome. Now the little trap door thing you guys were talking about, does that allow more airflow? Is that something I should look into for that?
No. Yeah, I think it's sealed, King. Remember when you were saying about that seal on there? I don't think it allows air in there at all. Okay, so what was the purpose of that thing again? I think I missed something. That's to keeping it closed, to keep it water resistant than having the door opened, I think. And you can plug directly into it. But let Joe explain that. He can explain it better than I can.
I don't know where it's at right now, but so you have the battery door that's sealed. It basically just has an open port on here for you to plug that USB connected in.
When you're charging or using an external battery.
Correct. Yeah. So you don't have to keep the door open, but it's not waterproof. Okay. By any means.
So guys, everyone in the chat, just so you know, I have a couple more questions here, and then I'm gonna go over some questions you guys asked that we didn't get to that I'd like to address. And if you guys have some more questions in the chat, feel free to bring them up. If we have time, we'll try to get to what we can. If you guys would just do us a favor, I really appreciate. Again, thank you, Joe and Ted, for being here. If you guys could share this out. Check out their channels and share this stream out to get some more people in here. They just may ask a question that you guys don't think of, and it could really be helpful. So while we still have a little bit of time, sharing it out would be great. So I do appreciate that.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, thanks for coming on, man. We learned a lot.
Yeah, Gripping and Ripping, I have mine on the hat mount is where I film mine. And so Joe, do you have a preference, hat mount versus chest mount when you're filming?
Well, yeah, there's a couple of different hat mounts. I mean, there's this clip-on one here that you can put on the bill of a cap.
Similar to what I have.
Yeah, if you have more of the bucket-style cap, you can use one of these. It's like a harness, kind of like a miner hat harness you can put on. But for me,
what's up, Kentucky guy?
Yeah, what's up, Nick? How's it going, buddy? Welcome back to YouTube.
There's a wrist strap you can get too.
I have the shoulder also.
Now the thing with the shoulder is you get part of your head in the video a lot of the times, and also it picks up a lot of your breathing. So that's one of the things that I like that subtig. I like how it raises it up, and it kind of gives you a shoulder view. Yeah, without giving you the Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But the chesty is by far my favorite.
Is it?
Mine is exclusively.
This came hat mount all day.
This came in my bundle. It's actually magnetic. And it has the clip that came in the bundle, but you can probably just clip it on your hat also. You know what I mean?
That's what I use for all my videos. So.
And this thing, these clips too, I wanted to just stress, these clips ain't like your little bread clips that you get for your bread. These things are top. They're strong. And and they also came with, and sorry, Joe.
You can use them as fish grippers too, Ted, just so you know.
Yeah, nice.
I've never tried that.
There you go. That's a good one.
No, I trust those things. I literally lean over the water, which is probably kind of dumb, but I'm as ballsy as it gets with my GoPro Hero 9. It's a $300-400 camera, and I will clip it. I'll look straight over the water. I'll be on a kayak moving around. I mean, it is on my head. You just got to keep in mind. Something you don't have to keep in mind with the chest mount is face where you're wanting to film. If you hear something over your shoulder and you're moving your head around, that's what you're going to be filming. So I like the view, but that's something to keep in mind.
And then with my GoPro also, it came with these clips, but they have the rubber on them now. So when you're like moving or anything, you can slap this in, and that avoids you squeezing this when you're moving, so that your GoPro flies off or whatever mount you have it on. So that's a nice little thing that they have there.
Now, have you guys seen that there's a magnetic mount you can get for your shirt as well, so you can kind of do away with the chesty? The only disadvantage to that one that I found, I tested one at one time. It kind of, with the weight of the GoPro, kind of falls forward a little bit.
So it goes in your shirt.
Yeah, it's like a plate that you put behind your shirt, and then you can put it, put the magnet on the GoPro, and then mount your shirt. It kind of pulled a little too much for me.
Okay,
but they're not bad. It's just different. I like having the harness and having it.
Keep it secure
on my shoulders.
Or if you have a heart condition,
which I do.
I think it all comes to personal preference, so you might want to try a couple different things. So Joe likes the chest mount. Me and Off the Hook kind of like that view with the head mount. You just got to keep your head still. You can't be looking at everything you hear. Dark 30 likes the shoulder harness, and so does Lindia from Small Water Charter.
Yeah, but some of you are in better shape than others. For me, the fat guy that I am, older guy, and I definitely hear a lot of breathing. So that's but you know what? The cool thing is they have such affordable sets through Amazon that you can get like a bazillion accessories for $30 and try out a ton of stuff and see what you like. And if you don't like the quality of it, you can always upgrade to the GoPro stuff.
Yeah.
We've addressed most of the things on my list. I think one of the things I did want to talk about was live streaming from the GoPro, but we mentioned that, and I think it's just going to come down to me and Ted trying that
connections.
Wi-Fi has been the issue for me. Anytime I film from the apartment, it's been great. I have not been able to film with my phone as a whatever they call that thing. I always forget what they call it. A mobile hotspot. Yeah. So, Joe, have you done any live streaming from the GoPro at all?
No, I've done none.
I didn't think so. We'll have to just be your field testers for that, guys. So we'll come back to you. And if you guys do try it and you find anything out, please share it with us as well or make a video.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely videos help a lot, But I'm going to be doing a product review on the SubTig eventually coming up here. Just for my use and what I use to show you guys how I use it. And Joe may use it differently than I do. That's why it's nice to make a video to go through them all and get a couple different point of views. I might be able to take something off of Joe's video that I didn't know of or think of in mine. So it's good to make videos and get them out there so people can go through them and take little points of the videos and use them
absolutely
to benefit them, Yeah,
if anybody wants to see the way that looks, it looks like a monstrosity, but it really actually works really well on the chest mount. It looks pretty good.
Cool.
Awesome. So this is the part of the live stream where if we have not addressed the question you guys have asked, feel free to open it up. Yep. I have like 4 or 5 questions that I wrote down as you guys were asking, and we were rolling, so I didn't get a chance to slip them in. So I will try to cover them now. And then after we get to as many of these as we can knock out in a couple minutes, we are going to talk very briefly, and we're going to share a video link for you guys about people looking for sponsorships with their YouTube channel, other social medias, and some advice on that. So we'll talk about that. All 3 of us have some experience at least with that stuff. And we'll share a link to one of Live to Fish's videos and talk about that. So getting to any questions that have not been addressed yet, feel free to add some in the chat. The first one was just something to mention was that Backwoods Barbarian said he noticed that the GoPro records in a lower decibel level than some of the other cameras that he uses. So you have to be aware if you're adding music or, again, like the wind sound, things like that.
Yeah.
That when you're editing the video, make sure that you're not putting in sound effects or music that are going to mask out your voice, because that'll actually take away from the video. If you want to add any music or sounds, you would only do that to enhance the video, parts where you're quiet or background music, things like that. Make sure that you play it back to yourself and that it's not too loud over your voice. And I think my advice for that would be to not have, would be to use headphones. Put on a good pair of headphones while you record and make sure you can clearly hear what you're saying. Or if you have the luxury of having someone else listen to it, maybe they don't know your voice as well as you, or you already knew what you were going to say. Just have your wife, your kids, whoever, a friend, listen to it. Say, can you hear what I'm saying? Should I turn the music down a little bit? So that's one thing I did want to address. Do you guys have anything you want to say on that?
I do. On that one, that comes backwards to also with your raw audio, maybe making a setting. I don't know if you have a setting on what GoPro you're using, but if you turn your raw audio to high or up from what it is and turn your wind off, your wind resisting, because it covers up. So that affects your volume in your GoPro. So turn that off, your wind reduction if you have one, or lower it. And turn your raw audio, if you have that, up, and that may help with your audio in your music and all the sounds too. When you're editing, it'll be a little bit clearer and more on point than it does with that wind reduction on.
So do something to actually reduce the wind physically, like Joe was saying. Get one of those foam cases for it, and you might be able to turn down or off your wind reduction setting. So then it will hear your voice louder and more clear. It won't cut out certain decibel levels and things of your voice, but then you won't have that wind be an issue, hopefully, as much. And I'm going to try that wind thing out as well.
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely get that
video on it and show some with and without. Go out on a windy day, record a couple minutes without it, and then record my video with it and show that difference. I think that would be
I'll stress that again for anybody just joined us. For $10 investment, you cannot beat these things.
Absolutely. And that wind reduction thing, like I said, that processor in there, that's doing something different with that wind reduction. So it's taken away from your raw audio. So if you have that wind reduction off, then you got full audio, basically.
Later, Boxy.
See you, Boxy. Take care, bud.
The next thing, I think, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I think it was Dark 30, I can't remember who, said that they never record videos above 1080p or to upload above 1080p. They said, why would you do that? And they also said they didn't think that YouTube allowed videos above 1080. I will answer quickly and just say that YouTube does allow at least up to 4K. I know they'll put a little 4K icon next to your thing. I forget what the actual like pixel whatever that it calls it, but you can get up to 4K. I know most of my videos are. And I think Ted said that he's seen something saying you can even go higher, maybe 5K or something like that.
Yeah, I've actually read, and just from seeing that people can go as high as 8K, but you have to reprogram your files and you have to rename your files so it accepts the 4K. So don't ask me how to even do that. It's too technical for me, but people do record in 8K, but then they have to rename or downsize their files to get the 4K video qualities. I don't know why you would do that or how you would do that. So I just heard that. That's all.
Yeah. The one thing I would say before letting you guys finish with anything you want to add on this question would be one reason that why aspect of going above 1080 would be that YouTube does in a little bit, it kind of dumbs down the quality slightly of what you record in, whether it's your audio, your video, whatever it is. So if you want it to be true 1080 or higher, I would consider that 2.7K just to get that full quality. Now I film in 4K, and I can't tell you why. Besides, I want the best quality I can, and I think that maybe I should lower it down for overheating and file size and things like that, processing time. But what do you guys think about reasons to go above 1080p on recording and uploading to YouTube?
For me personally, I don't have a reason to do it. Like I said, the convenience for the back-end editing, the file sizes that I have to go through and review, storage-wise, even though I have the unlimited storage, and then maybe I might try it out. But for me, I don't want to lose something because of the overheating issues and things like that can happen. Not that it would be as prevalent here in Michigan as, say, down south where it gets a little bit warmer. But for me, I think the 1080p, that works out just fine. I think the quality is good.
Okay. And for me, the same reason as King, I like to see the 4K on my video. That's the best thing because in my head it looks cool. But the only reason why that I would do that would probably be for slow motion. I would go higher up so I can get the more frames per second to get a better slow motion quality. But I think I'm going to go with the 1080. I like the 4K. And they do downsize it a little bit. You get in 1080 or whatever. But Joe did make a good point with the 1080 with less downloading time and less overheating. So I'm definitely going to try that this year.
Yeah, but Ted, you're also going to get that 120 frames a second for your slow-mos now too.
Yes,
so I think that's going to be pretty cool to see. I'm interested to see what you come up with this year.
Yeah, because I guess it's that. Now, let me ask you this while we're on that topic: the 5.3K, which the GoPro 10 has capabilities of recording it. Mm-hmm. Can I still use that 5.3K but go slow motion and still have that quality, and will YouTube download that quality?
I can't speak for YouTube's end, but anything you do, you can edit it however you want. As long as you have the 120 frames captured, you're good. Okay. The quality is only going to be better, obviously, as to what you said.
Yeah, it'll be a lot smoother.
YouTube does with it, I couldn't tell you.
All right.
Dark 30 said 120 FPS and 1080 will do your ultra smooth slow-mo. So I think for the best slow-mo on the GoPro, you're going to want to, anything you want to be shot in slow-mo, you'd have to go into that slow-mo mode, right? To get that higher frame rate. Now, if you're just, it tells me that I can have my GoPro be 60 frames per second. That's only, mine's the Hero 9. That's only in slow-mo mode that I can get that 60 frames per second is the way I understand it. If I'm filming normally, it's 4K 30 frames per second. And so the biggest issue with me is there's some things that I'm not like, okay, I want this to be slow-mo. Let's say I'm hooking up with a bass and it does a really cool jump out of the water. I can't switch, in that quick second to slow-mo. It's just going to have to be film normal, and it's going to dumb it down a little bit when I try to slow motion.
I think that's where I think that's where it comes to post-production. If you're doing 120 frames per second on the GoPro and you know that file is going to be in 120 frames per second, post-production, you can take care of that with your editing tools.
Well, I don't have that option. Mine can only go up to 30 frames per second on my GoPro Hero 9. For normal recording.
I got you.
Yeah. So you guys can go up to 120 just for normal recording?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't know that. Mine's 60. Yeah. Or 30. Mine's 30 is the highest. I can only go up to 60 on
60 to 1080, right?
Yeah. And I think I can go down to 24 frames per second is my lowest, I believe, but it goes up to 120. Yeah.
I wish I had my GoPro Hero 9 with me, but when I try to go through settings, it won't let me. It tells me it can do 60 frames per second. Maybe it's because it's 4K. Maybe I have to go down to 1080. I don't know what it is.
You might get more frames per second on 1080. Yeah.
Okay. That's probably what I have to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Dark 30 was talking about, doing the 1080 with the 120.
Right.
Okay. Well, then that's something that I might try after watching this live stream is go down to 1080.
Exactly. I'm gonna mess with it
for a lot of reasons. So.
Yep.
Let's see. The video will only play in whatever the viewers are watching it. Like if you film in 4K, you need a 4K to view it in 4K. That's what Carpenter says. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I know a lot of people. Like my friend messaged me the other day. He's got this 4K UHD TV, and he's like, "Man, I didn't know you filmed in 4K. Your videos look fantastic on my new TV." But how many of your viewers are watching it from that, and how many are watching it from an old Samsung phone or something? So. Let's see.
But if you're watching a 1080 on a 4K TV, I guess the quality is going to be lower. But if you're watching a 4K on a 1080 TV, it should still be just as good, correct?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, mine, like I said, mine's 1080, and I watch it on TV. I don't watch them on mobile, so it comes out just fine.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
Now, Carpin said, Carpin said he uploaded a 5.2K yesterday, and it took forever. Now, was he going wireless or was it wired? Because I have bought, this was another accessory. I got that Lightning camera to phone. So when I take it off of my phone.
Oh, yeah. The Lightning cable transfers the data much quicker.
Way faster. Like I'll put my camera into here and then this goes into my phone, and it takes probably less than half the time to do it with this little Lightning tool. This was $12 or $13, and it's well worth the money for your download time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question was, how many hours does battery last? I think they mean the GoPro batteries, and I think the biggest answer for that is just it depends. It's going to depend on what your quality for filming is and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The air temperature, everything. Like I said, when I did the time lapse recording of the sunrise, like I said, in the cold temperatures, I expected that battery on normal days fishing, I would get anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour out of a standard battery. Now the Enduro, I expect to get just over an hour, but that thing recorded, like I said, it was pretty close to an hour and a half, and it still had 20% battery life. Now, I'm sure that's because it's not taking the same amount of frames. It's not recording the whole time with that time lapse, but at the same point,
hold on, guys.
It's gonna. There's a lot of factors that come into play there.
Gotcha.
We got somebody being very inappropriate in the chat, so I'm going to change it to subscriber only mode. I apologize for that, guys.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't help that, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to go to subscriber only mode on this one.
Now you can.
Let's see.
I also got the disc Lightning reader too, which is awesome if you don't want to take it from your GoPro. My other GoPro, I put that in here and it loads it right onto my phone, and I'm good to go. Yep. That's why I want a MacBook, because everything's compatible with the iPhone and the GoPros. It's so nice. And I'm not like real tech savvy, so that just makes it so much easier to understand and do for myself anyway.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Every once in a while, and I hate that it happens in an interview with other channels, some ridiculous troll will come in with a horrible name and put really bad stuff in the chat. So I apologize. I went to subscriber only mode. I wanted anyone to be able to come in here and comment, but I just went to subscriber only mode, so only people actually wanting to make intelligent comments can comment. And I appreciate that Carpin Down Under. He put a bunch of dots in the chat to get that person's name up out of there. So that very rarely happens.
He found us.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Bots, gotta hate them, said Scorpio. Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
No doubt.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so again, mine lasts about that. I would say about 45 minutes to just over an hour, even at 4K, which is awesome. Is what my batteries last. My friend, he films 180 on the GoPro Hero 8. His batteries last like 3 hours. I don't understand what he's doing differently. I don't know if the GoPro Hero 8's different, but yeah, it's Bassman Outdoors.
I had the 8 and I didn't see those kind of times. That's
yeah, me and him will be recording at the same time. But then again, I record continuously. This is the biggest issue. Is I record continuously, and he'll turn his off every once in a while. I'll turn it back on, turn it off, and so I think that's what.
Yeah, it definitely does. So that's where mine is on the loop, and it, I get, like I said, roughly 55 minutes to an hour base.
Yeah. See, I would think that and that's like a light switch. You get a power surge when you're turning it on and off, on and off. I would think that would suck up the battery more than leaving it running. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but like when you're turning the light switch on and off, you leave the light on, it uses less power than you would if you shut the light on and off. You know what I mean? Because you're getting that power surge for that initial startup. So I would think that GoPro sort of, in my mind, would work the same way. If I'm pressing on and off, it takes that little bit of boost, so you would use more battery that way. That was just the way I was thinking.
I think it just goes into like a power save like TVs do nowadays.
Gotcha.
It just kind of has a quick startup.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 more questions here, unless you guys have something in the chat. Yeah, I know, Jeremy, that was the same troll that was coming to Modog's channel, and I had to come into his live stream to show him how to go subscriber only mode. So maybe I'll make a video on that, a short video on how to go subscriber only mode if you guys are getting a lot of bots and a lot of trolls in your chat, which every once in a while happens, and it's unfortunate. I don't know how much we can help on this. Fish and Junk asked, he had the GoPro Hero 7. He was asking if it's waterproof and if you trust that. I would just say, like, I've only had experience with the 8 and the 9, and you guys have experience with the 10. And so do you guys know any difference on like how waterproof the different models are or anything like that?
My GoPro, I have a real old one. I have a 2 and a 3, and they are not waterproof without that external case.
Right.
That clear case that they used to have, you'd put it in there and it's pretty bulky. That makes it waterproof. I've done that with my old ones, put them in. I wouldn't dunk just the camera in though.
Right. What about the 8, Joe? Was that waterproof at all?
The 8 was, yes. And that's
so
why
you would dunk that one in the water with no case, anything like that, no problem.
Yeah, and like I said, that was when I had issues with the 8. It got kind of gummed up to where the microphone was muffled for a while. It didn't drain properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was waterproof. You could stick it underwater. I think it was up to like 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same with my GoPro Hero 9. I've never stuck it like more than just a foot or two because I just stick it in a creek or do a release shot or something like that, which is cool. Yeah. I do every time I pull it out, and I would recommend this to anybody. Blow on the audio port where it goes in a little bit and wipe the screen off so you don't have a distorted audio or video after sticking it.
Lick the screen, Joe.
Yeah, that's how it all began.
Lick the screen
because that's what they tell you with the earlier model GoPros. They actually have it where they tell you to lick the screen to create like a barrier for the water to run off of. Well, the GoPro Hero 10 has a hydrophobic, or what is it called? Hydrophobic. So it's afraid of water. Hydrophobic lens on it so that you can get a fish splash or whatever, and the water just drips right off.
Yeah.
You don't lick this lens. You don't wipe it. You just leave it be. It's going to be just fine.
Here's my question. The lens comes off yours. The lens comes off the Hero 9. Do you have any idea if you could take a Hero 10 lens and screw it onto a Hero 9? Would that work?
Yes, I believe so. The Max lens, I think you can use that.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, you can remove the lens off it.
And so that's available on the GoPro website. You guys can go on there and find that Max lens he was talking about, right?
Get the Max. It's I think it's called Max Lens Pro Update or Upgrade or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, you said the 7 is fine. Could you give us an update on? Are you talking about waterproof or what? Just so I don't tell Fish and Junk that it's good to go, and then he dunks it in the water and ruins his expensive camera. So
I think it's everything after the 5. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. So that answers that for the most part. Jeremy, if you want to shed some more light, that'd be great. 2 more questions here. Quickly, someone came in and said, repeat the ISO thing, and straight to the point asked about software preferences. So maybe, Ted, you could say what your settings are one more time. You guys know a little bit more about that than me.
Once again, the higher the ISO, the less stable you're going to be, and it'll be more grainy. The lower your my ISO, I keep it 3200. I'm looking over here because I'm reading my notes, so I don't mess this up. But not so grainy if it's lower, but you're unstable. The higher your ISO goes, the less stable your picture is. So just consider it as you move one up, the other one moves, just like this. I keep my ISO at 3200, and it seems like the stability and everything with that hyper boost, it keeps it nice and steady for me. So that's just my settings. If you're a little jumpy or twerky, or you had a Red Bull or something, you might want to set it higher. I don't know.
I know you're looking at me off the hook with that, with the energy drink thing.
Well, I actually have a caffeine ice here, but it's no sugar. So
right. Yeah, I only do the no sugar monsters as well. I don't know if that's healthier or not, but it's just I don't want to be like Hobbs and be all on a sugar rush, you know.
Yeah, anybody who don't drink the caffeine drinks, their hyper boost probably don't have to be on a GoPro. But if you're drinking caffeine drinks, put the hyper boost on.
Cuts the jitters.
Yeah.
And so just to cap that off, what Joe was saying earlier was kind of mess with those settings, those preferences, find out what works for you, maybe do some digging around on YouTube and elsewhere, do some research and see what works for you. Test
also make some comments on Joe's videos, and he'll get back to you and answer your question too.
Absolutely.
You know?
He responds quickly. I rewatched one of his videos for a second time today and realized I hadn't commented, so I dropped a quick comment. I said that was some great info, and 5 minutes later, something like that, he had responded. So I was like, that's really cool when YouTubers take the time to do that.
But not on Joe's phone calls. If you call Joe on the phone, he'll get back to you the next day or two. He'll say, I was in the basement and my phone don't work. All right, Joe?
No, but it's so funny because for years, you're tethered to your phone when you're working, and being retired, it's like you don't need it anymore.
I got you.
Nice. It's like I'm there with the family. They're the only people that are really going to have an emergency and need me.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Hey, I'm jealous. I get 200 notifications a day, and my phone really bogs me down.
I don't miss those days at all.
Yeah.
I don't miss it at all.
Yep. So I did ask any last questions in the chat. We got one more question, and then I do want to talk a little bit for like maybe a minute or two about sponsorships and advice, and we're going to share a link to one of Joe's videos. So if you guys have any last questions, now would be the time. I can't guarantee we'll get to everything, but if you have like one last question, that'd be great. Jeremy did say, so he has a video where, and warning, I think there's some F-bombs dropped in that one if you're a kid before watching it, but he strapped his GoPro Hero 7 to a carp. And it was in the water for over an hour, and they had to go retrieve that carp and get it back. And his GoPro Hero 7 still works great. So obviously it's fully submersible and works.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Dark 30 said, this has been a great stream. I've learned a lot. I love doing the tech talks and stuff like that. And I'm glad that we had Live to Fish. We had Joe, who's very knowledgeable about this.
Again, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
well, thanks
thank
again
you for coming up.
I
do have a quick question for Joe. When are you going to come back on this side over to the PA side over on this way? You to hook up and do a fishing collab or something? Are you ever over this way?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'll anytime. Let's do it.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll get a hold of each other and yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
I'm still trying to find a time to make it out your way, Ted.
I know.
I'm busy, man.
I'm waiting. Man. Like I said, I got the food and I got the place to stay. All you got to do is pay for your gas, which really we don't want to talk about that in here. But
no doubt.
Yeah, you know where to go with that.
Yes, sir. So yeah, Richard said lots of good info for sure. SunfishKing, you see my comment? Great light. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Thanks, Richard. You guys are awesome. The last question I have about GoPros, and this is one that someone else asked. It might have been Local Life. It might have been someone else, but it's one I meant to add to ask as well. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about best add-on mics, external mics for GoPros? Especially, I'm looking for a high-quality wireless mic, and I know that for that, I think you have to drop a couple $100 unless I'm wrong. So, what do you guys?
I'll let Joe go first on that one.
I haven't used any of the mods. I've only used the internal mics.
Okay.
So I don't have
on my end with that. I do want to get the mod kit just from researching some things out because they have the ports in the back. But unfortunately, I think the Rode mics are the best for that. And unfortunately, they're $200, $300, $400 for a wireless Rode mic. Now that one that I shared with King, one I shared with King was an adapter with a wireless. Now King said that it didn't look like it was good for the GoPro. The only reason why I like that one is it does have an adapter on it where I could plug in the external battery and charge through the external mic adapter into my GoPro to give it power all day. And then the wireless mic comes off of that. So I do like that. And I may buy it. It's like $20 or $30 or something like that. So I may still try it out. But I don't think I am going to buy the Rode Mini 2s anytime soon.
Right.
Like
what are they, $200-$300? Something
yeah,
crazy?
right now.
Yeah.
That's not in my
We looked
budget.
at some of the same ones that were on Amazon for like $20-$30, and they looked great at first, and they looked like they would definitely work with the GoPro. I did some more reviewing, and there are a lot of 1, 2, 3-star reviews stating a lot of issues and that it didn't sound that great. And so if you want to buy that and be the guinea pig, let me know, put out a video and I'll listen to it. And if it works, that's great. Yeah. If not, we'll get back to the drawing board and to find a way to get a good external, hopefully wireless mic that's not $300, for the GoPro. But
I've also listened to videos with the mod kit on it, and it sounds great because it's a directional mic, and it'll pick up what's in front of you. You know what I mean? Or you can.
But I wonder if the wind resistance would be as good with that as with just the cheap $8 thing that Joe was showing to put on. So that's my question.
From what I've heard on seeing the reviews, that mod kit is it's supposed to reduce the wind. Okay. Right. I don't know how much or how it sounds. Now, when I've watched on YouTube, the people using the mod kits, the audio definitely sounds better with that mod kit on.
Right.
I don't know what settings they were at or what they tweaked on the settings to get it that way, but it sounded really good as opposed to when it was off. Now, to go back to that, the GoPro 10's microphones sound awesome already, though. So it's just a matter of what you want to do. If you think you're upgrading, you can. But I don't have an issue with the sound on my GoPro without anything on it. Really, I really don't have an issue with it.
I just have an issue with wind. Mine sounds fine. It picks up a lot, but it picks up the wind a ton.
And I think if you get that thing that Joe has, I think your wind issues will probably be reduced greatly.
And so you just leave that on there, but you're going to have to pop it off real quick to change batteries and things like that, right? Or if you want to, like, you can't have an external power pack with it, right?
Yeah, if you have the external power pack in that, all you need to do is cut a little hole in it for the USB adapter there.
Yep.
And you're good.
So
I used it with just the regular batteries, and all we do is just peel it back, pop the door, throw another battery in, and then put it back.
Yeah, it isn't like a solid rubber thing; it's just foam.
Yeah, it's just foam.
Yeah.
But you have that window thing on the side where you can plug straight in, right? Because mine has to open up to actually plug in. So I'd have to get that trap door and then put that on and then cut the hole.
On my 8, I didn't. I never had the door. I never had an external battery. I would just peel the foam back a little bit.
Right.
Open up the door and throw another battery in there. It's kind of a pain, but it was doable.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. And then you said if you have the GoPro subscription, they have music available that's not copyrighted for use.
Yeah, that's one of the things they do. That quick app, they open up a lot of doors for you.
That's what I use now.
A lot of editing tools. Yeah,
I use that.
That was somebody's question of what we use for editing, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I use the quick app for them short edits for my previews on my videos coming out. I'll throw off the quick app. I'll edit some things in that quick app and put it on, and they have a plethora of music that you can add to it. They have different themes that you can use and things like that. It's really a nice little addition to my channel from using that quick app. And I'll do previews, 2-minute previews of what's coming up on my videos. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah, I just use YouTube Music to avoid all those copyright claims. But I don't use the quick app for almost anything. I've used it only for going live. It's not rated very well. It's rated like 2 stars, and I think I'm one of those people that either just doesn't understand it or I don't know, because I like it for going live. Besides that, I don't really use it for anything at all. Maybe to see what people are seeing. You can link that
use your phone,
what the camera looks like and things like that.
Preview it.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, I don't use it much.
I'd like to add on that live version of that on my phone. You can't preview the live. You have to close that out and go into YouTube to watch it on my phone. The GoPro, I don't know if they're going to be changing that or not, but when I bring it up as a live, it'll just be a blank screen with some red, green, and orange sound bars on it. But I can't watch the video from that screen. I have to close it out and go to my YouTube channel and view my stream on my phone that way. I can't view it through the GoPro quick app on my phone to stream.
And those actually aren't sound bars. That's your connection. So when I was live out trying to use my phone as that mobile hotspot, those were all the way down to 0, and that's how I knew it was going to look terrible. Yeah, that's your connection. So it's normally pretty high, right? When you look at it,
mine was real. Yeah,
and that means you're in your Wi-Fi. It's working great. So that's actually showing you your internet strength and your connection strength. And
well, I learned that tonight. Awesome.
Okay, cool. So that's all that I had. That's all I saw in the chat. If I missed your question, I'm sorry. You can feel free to pop on one of Joe's videos and ask him a question. I'm sure he'd be happy to try to answer one of your questions. So basically, the last thing that I really wanted to ask, and I do want to say thanks again, both of you guys, for taking your time to be up here with us. I think a lot of people have said thank you, and they learned a lot of stuff, which was the goal. So thanks for coming up. But I did want to ask, what are your guys, and I'll give my 2 cents on this as well, but advice for either people looking for sponsorships, pro staff, stuff like that with their YouTube or other social media, Instagram, or just if people are approached, let's say they're not looking, but they're approached with sponsorship offers, things to keep in mind. And before I do get to, us all sharing our thoughts on this, I want to share one link here. It's a video from Joe from Live to Fish. It's called How to Get Sponsored on YouTube or Instagram. And he also wanted me to share this with you guys.
Yep.
So it's a good guide and covers some really good information on that.
It's a great starting point for anybody that wants to get into it, that has either been turned down by their places or wants a central clearinghouse. Like I said, it's great for people that have outdoors channels that are more diversified than just a fishing niche. It'll work out really well for you.
Yeah, I just shared that link, guys. So it's right there. Feel free to click that and put that video, add to your watch later, or save that link and go check it out later. But I'll open it up to you guys what your advice is for sponsorships, pro staff, stuff like that.
Go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, I would just do your content, do what you like, put it out there. I don't recommend you go after a product and use it and try to like it to get a sponsorship. I think you should go out, try the product. If you like it, use it, promote it on your channel, let them come to you. If you're doing it for a while and you think that you have great content, maybe you could reach out to one of them and say, hey, here's my videos that I do on your products. And I did that with Winsent from the Deer's that thing, and I sent it to them and they really liked it. Now, I recommend maybe coming up with sort of like what they call a media kit. And that is all your information. Like it's almost like your resume for YouTube, okay, or any of your social media. You come up with a media kit, and they look for that stuff, and you give them all your information. It's easy to find your Instagram, your YouTube channels, and all that. But if you come up with a media kit, send it to them, but don't keep emailing people and stuff like that. I recommend get the products, use them. If you like them, promote them. If you don't like them, don't just try to use them because you want to get a sponsorship by somebody. Use the products that help you in your channel, and then go after the sponsorships. That's my view on things.
And then what Grippin' and Rippin' said, put yourself out there and ask. You'd be surprised. So if there is a company that you use a ton, let's say you really like, catch company stuff or something like that. You really like baits from some company or some product, especially if it's a smaller company, and you use them all the time anyway, and you want to promote them. You think that they're great quality products. Just ask them. Send them something on Instagram. So, they can look, and especially if you have that media kit or you send them your links for your social medias, they can say, wow, this person does use my stuff a ton, and they have a pretty good Instagram, YouTube, maybe both following. And so, if you don't ask, maybe they'll never know you even exist. But there's no reason not to just go out and ask if it's a company that you like. You're either going to get an offer or you're not. They're not nothing. Right. You stand nothing to lose with that.
And Joe will put it to this, and that hook it that Joe's talking about, and I'll let him explain that a little more detail. That's a great option because you get like a point thing, like a point series, like how good you're doing, and they look at that and they'll reach out to you. You don't reach out to them. That's sort of like putting yourself out there. That's sort of like your media kit is what I'm talking about. They'll look you up in there, and there's programs that you can enter in there. But I also wanted to make there's a difference between sponsors, partnerships, affiliations. I mean, there's all kinds of differences when you're like, some people say I'm sponsored by a company. Well, you're not binding, so you're not sponsored because you're not binded with the company. You're affiliated with them, and if they're letting you promote it, basically you're selling their products for them. You're the salesperson for them for free, unless they give you a 10% promotional discount or something like that. And that's why I say I do recommend you go after the people that you use their products, because if you're not using their products, there's nothing in it for you, and there's definitely nothing in it for them. And you have to give to get. They're not going to give you free products just because that you asked for it. You have to prove yourself to the company that you're worth something to them also.
Right.
And that's my look on things.
We mentioned this before when we were in a live on my channel, Ted, that and let us know in the chat if you like this type of concept of talking about sponsorships, pro staff, stuff like that. I would love here in the near future, when we can work it out, to do a live stream kind of like this, where we just talk about sponsorships, pro staffs, maybe the difference, some advice. We could go into we're just talking about it for a couple minutes today. We could go into it a lot more in depth. Maybe Joe could come up for part or all of it. Maybe even Grippin' and Rippin' could come up for part of it and kind of talk about our experience and our advice. Because Grippin' Rippin' said that's how he got sponsored by Catch Company or Mystery Tackle Box, was just putting himself out there and asking. And I love their stuff, and so that'd be a great company to be sponsored by. And I did share that.
Absolutely.
He just announced that not too long ago. I think it was like today or yesterday he announced his sponsorship.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Joe, I'll let you share your what you want to say about sponsorships and things like that as well.
Oh, yeah. Ted brought up some good points. But the main thing is everything that happened to me sponsorship-wise happened because I put myself out there with the product. They have people on their staff that's what they do. They peruse social media. They see your hashtags. They see what you're doing with their product. And they also see the influence you have, hence social influencers, on your audience with their product. So they are paying attention. Nothing would have happened with GoPro had I not done that video and not grabbed their attention and have them actually comment, and then me follow up to that comment with them and started a dialogue. And it kind of went from there. Same thing happened with some other sponsors. I never even heard of some of these companies, but somehow I got on their radar because of my content, and I just started receiving things in the mail. So it does happen, but you got to put yourself out there and just be kind of honest and true to what you're doing. Definitely support the locals. Put as much as you can effort into, supporting them. They'll support you right back. It's a win-win there. But again, you got to put yourself out there.
Yep, just a couple things. You guys covered pretty much all of it, and I would love to do another live stream if at least Ted, or if not both of you, could at some point and talk about this a lot more in depth, because we could go on with this subject for a while.
If I could, real quick, that whole GoPro thing is how I came up onto Hook It, because essentially when GoPro offered me the sponsorship, the link that they sent me to fill out my application for it was hookit.com. And I didn't even realize or put two and two together, because I didn't go through the entire process of looking to see. I thought it was like a third-party vendor that they vetted their applicants for. I had no idea that it was a complete separate entity that they worked through. So being sponsored by them, or being told to go to the site and using the link that they gave me, put me kind of on the fast track. So I didn't really, I had to apply for it, but we already had an agreement before then. And then the contract came and so on and so forth. But it wasn't until weeks later I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? I want to go back to that site, because I'm kind of questioning as to what that was. That's when I found out about Hook It and all the opportunities. And lo and behold, I got a couple more sponsors out of it. It's really a good starting point. It's a clearinghouse for sponsorships.
Yeah. I need to look into that for sure. I wasn't aware of that before you had mentioned.
And like I said, I wasn't either. And like I said, I'm glad I went back, and I hope it helps some people.
Yeah, I went in and filled the information out, but like I don't know if you come up with these points, Joe. Like you do have to go in there and add stuff like your tournaments and things like that. You have to keep up on it. But like right now, fishing isn't in season, so you don't keep up with it now, because I'm not putting any content out there to put into that Hook It. So once I start fishing and pictures, and like I'm entering a tournament in June, so I'll put that in there. Once you start being more active, that's when you start entering your stuff, and you'll probably get reached out to by somebody. Your chances of getting contacted by somebody are better sort of in season when you're using the app. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of like a ranking system. You'll move up in the rankings.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, there's also some absolutely horrible offers that I've received from companies that they just want unbelievable. You can't obtain these expectations that they give you. They want you to purchase X amount of products a month from them, which is fine if you want to support a product, but
if
they
you're
also
using them,
right, and they require
if you're already doing that.
They put too much emphasis on you basically working as a salesperson for them and not
for
really
free.
sponsoring and having a mutual partnership and relationship. And that's what you want out of sponsorship. It's got to be a give and take, like you said. It's got to be very beneficial to them. They have to want you to actually do something for them, but it has to be beneficial to you as a content creator and as a fisherman. You know, make sure that it's something, or an outdoorsman, make sure it's something that you want to be involved in, not something that you're forced to use because of a relationship. It's just not going to work if you don't.
Yep, exactly.
That covered pretty much what I was going to add, actually. So since we are going to try to do another live stream talking about this at some point, and we can talk about that off screen. And if you guys are interested, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I'm definitely
on this or whatever.
I mentioned to you that before, King, that I'd like to do that for people.
Right.
So definitely we could work together and see if Joe wants to come back up for that, because he's experienced in that with the hook it and with his process through GoPro, and then Trey from Gripping and Ripping, get him up here with his process with Catch Go. So that would be good. That'd be another good stream.
Yeah, and so I won't bring up anything new. We can save anything else for that. So I'm about to end this thing here anyway.
Thanks, Gripping.
But I just want to, ring the bell for that right there. I just want to reiterate 2 points that you guys mentioned, just because I think those are some of the most important. Were what Joe just said was make sure it's something mutually beneficial. This could be anything from a pro staff partnership to a sponsorship. Make sure it's something mutually beneficial. If it's them trying to make you put their stuff out all the time and you're not getting anything from it, and on top of that, they're trying to make you buy a certain amount, like buy this starter package, buy something every month, put our products out, but you're not really getting anything out of it. Why are you doing that? Just to say that you're sponsored? I wouldn't go for that. Make sure. Yeah, go ahead.
With that one caveat, and I got to say it was like Catchco or Tackle Warehouse. If they were saying, hey, you got to do this amount of times, purchase this amount a month. Well, I'm already doing that anyway, so it fits right into my project plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, Yep. I was going to add that as well. If it's something you're already doing, like let's say you buy Nico baits all the time, like Panfish Daddy and Pond Predator from Eternal Anglers, they're already buying that stuff all the time. And so I don't know what their deal is with Nico, but let's say Nico's like, buy a certain amount a month and put this stuff out there and we'll sponsor you and we'll give you a discount and all this stuff. Well, I would say that then is mutually beneficial.
Exactly.
You're not buying anything or doing anything you wouldn't already. You're already posting fish pictures. So why not just include the Helgramite that you caught it on and put hashtag Nico baits and then get your discount, get your free baits, whatever it may be.
Walmart might be bigger than Walmart might be bigger than Catchco, but just because they give me Ozark Trail doesn't mean that I'm going to stop buying, Guggen baits from Carlos.
Exactly.
That's another thing. Make sure they're not saying you can only exclusively use these baits, because that might be a much bigger handicap than any benefit you could get from that company.
Without a doubt.
So, definitely. So just keep in mind that it's got to be mutually beneficial. Make sure that they're doing something for you, whether it's providing free stuff, discounted stuff, sharing you out on social media, whatever it may be. Make sure you're getting something out of it as well. If it's a true official sponsorship and they're saying they're going to do something for you, you're going to do something for them, I would recommend not going into it without some type of a contract to make sure that you're protected on that. The only exception I would make to that would be something like me and Ranger Pete, or let's say I wanted Off the Hook Outdoors baits to sponsor my channel or something. Ted's a good buddy of mine. If it's someone you really trust like that, they're going to throw you some stuff. You want to just say, hey, they're the unofficial sponsor, so that you share their link and get their baits out there, do giveaways with their baits like I do with Ranger P and even with Off the Hook. That is not something that needs a contract, because it's a good friend. But I wouldn't do something that casual with someone you really don't know, because either party could take advantage of the other party without some type of contract or agreement. So I think that's
and I'd like to add to that, King, too, when you're in the industry, believe me, companies talk to each other about other things. And so I would not suggest you badmouth any company. When you are cutting ties, or if you don't want nothing to do, be as professional as you can, because companies talk to each other.
Yep.
If you're with a hook company and you want to go with the sinker company, they're going to ask each other, hey, how's Off the Hook Outdoors? Well, he He badmouthed me on Instagram and this and that, and it gets around in the industry. So please don't badmouth anybody. Be as professional as you can. If you need to cut ties, do it as professionally as you can.
Yep.
Because the fishing, and that's anywhere, they are closely related, and believe me, they talk to each other about different things like that.
Don't burn your bridges.
Yes,
don't burn your bridges. Yeah. So with that company and then with other companies as well, because that'll get around for sure. Yep. And the last thing I will add is keep in mind, if you are sponsored by some big companies or whoever it may be, keep in mind that you should probably not go on a crazy cuss word filled rant in a random video or something like that, because then you're representing that company as well. You got to keep those things in mind. You don't maybe have to be family friendly like my channel is. Maybe they've seen your videos and they understand that you cuss a little bit in your videos. I don't know what that is, but maybe ask them if you're concerned about that, because if you're sponsored by some big companies, you put out some crazy, I don't know, cuss word filled rant, something political or something controversial that they're not for, that could potentially pose a problem. So if you are wanting to do something like that, which I don't on my channel, maybe bring that up with the companies you're sponsored by, since you have their links all over your content.
I'm trying to build a brand for myself, Off the Hook Outdoors. I have friends on Facebook that comment the stupidest stuff. And when I first started this, I would answer those stupid comments sometimes as a friend without even thinking of that. Right. I stopped that completely. I don't answer that stupid stuff on Facebook. I don't answer political, nothing like that. So stay away from all that. You think it's just friendly, but other people see that.
At least on your channel account, like maybe a personal account, but not the account that you are then sharing. Hey, hey, I'm sponsored by them, buy their stuff. Yeah. Hey, I want to support this channel. By the way, bleep, 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 bleep this, go on a crazy rant, probably not.
No, you don't want to do that, because Facebook is notorious for that. Like if you like a comment that my buddy made about them going out and having a drinking weekend, and I'm out there liking it or loving it and doing all that, companies will see that and be like, well, we don't want to be associated with a guy who's out there partying all weekend. And I'm just putting examples out there.
Yeah.
So I stay away from all that stuff on social media.
Yep. What's up, Eric Burnside? How close are you to 1K? I know a lot of people are trying to get Eric Burnside to 1,000 subscribers. Last time I checked, he was at 7 something, I think. So and you just got another hook set from Eric Burnside.
Nice.
Definitely check out Joe's stuff. Check out Link to Fish's videos. He has a lot of really educational, helpful stuff on there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Joe's a great guy.
Jared, I have no social media. Life is good.
I just wanted to thank Joe personally, myself. I saw Joe's channel a while ago, and I reached out to Joe, and he was nice enough to email me back, and we just started talking. And I am so glad that I got to meet you.
Likewise,
and I just thank you for sharing your knowledge with our community. I really like your videos. I think you're very professional and you handle yourself well. You do great product reviews and everything. And I just wanted to say thank you for acknowledging our community and stopping in and helping us out.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not here, like I said, to create any type of branding. I'm just here to have fun and help people out. And like I said, it's mutually beneficial with this community. I'm learning as much as information as I'm putting out to educate other people.
Yep, so that's awesome.
Really great. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yep. And yeah, I do want to say before we end this thing, I do want to thank both you guys for coming up here, taking your time. Ted, you always try to make time for me to come up on my channel and provide good commentary, and I appreciate it. And I love what you do with your family and your content over on your channel. So you guys will definitely be seeing a lot of more collabs and live streams and stuff with me and Off the Hook Outdoors.
Yep.
And then Joe, I think that you are very well spoken. You're very knowledgeable about the things that you talk about. So I'm really glad to get you up here for an interview. I know it's not necessarily your goal, but I can see you going very far with this YouTube channel, just because you hold yourself well and you speak well and you seem to know what you're talking about for the most part and provide consistent, good content on your channel. So I could definitely see your channel blowing up one day, even if you're not in it for the money or whatever. It could definitely help you reach more people. And I love the education.
Thanks, Karen. I appreciate that
about it. Yeah.
I think that knowledge thing just comes with age, though. I'm just an old guy. a little wise, a little wise.
Right. All right. Well, that's all I have. Is there anything else you guys want to say before I shut this thing down at all?
Grippin' and Rippin' said, what did Joe retire from? If you don't mind him asking. Sorry.
Yeah, no, not at all. I am a retired sergeant from the Dearborn Police Department up here in Michigan.
Okay.
Well, okay. There you go, Trey.
So.
Yeah, Eric's at 785 family members, so getting close to 800. Keep trucking, buddy. You got this. I'm gonna keep sharing you out and helping you out there, and we'll get you to 1,000. You've been deserving that for a while, buddy. So we got you.
That's
I
awesome.
could tell.
What gave it away? The beard that I had to get right after retirement? Is that what it was?
It takes one to know one, I think. Is what it is.
All right, man. Well, that was a great stream. I learned a lot. I hope all the people in here did learn something. If you could take one thing away from it, I'm doing my job, Joe's doing his job, and King's doing his job. So I appreciate being in here and being part of this.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys both for being up here. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you.
It's past my bedtime. I just want you to know that.
No, you guys are free to go whenever. I was going to make a couple announcements and shut this thing down.
Yeah, I'll hang out. I ain't doing nothing.
Okay.
All right, man. Thank you guys very much. Joe. I appreciate it. Thanks for seeing everybody tonight. Man. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch for sure, buddy. Later.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Take care.
All right. So, so I really hope to do a lot more of these. Obviously, being in college, I can't always do what I want to do, but I want to do a lot more interviews on my channel. I used to do a lot more, not just with other people from the community to showcase them. Of course, I want to do that, but with people who are knowledgeable about certain things. Like he knows a lot about GoPro, sponsorships, things like that. It gives him good publicity, but I think a lot of people learned something tonight. So I would love to keep doing interviews, maybe some themed things, and we can talk about fishing. We can talk about, other things with growing your channel, things like that. So just getting some people and having them up here for, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. I told him it'd be an hour or two, and look, we went for 2.5 hours. So
yeah,
I have a hard time shutting up. But if you do ever come on my channel, let me know if you got to go. I'm not going to keep you hostage, just so you guys know. I just a couple quick announcements. Again, me and Off the Hook, we're doing our big YouTube starter kit giveaway. Biggest giveaway I've ever seen on YouTube. $2,500 plus of prizes to 10 different winners. It's still open right now. Let us know if you're interested and you're not entered. We're going to keep this thing going. And here, probably Wednesday, I would say Wednesday or Thursday, but probably Wednesday, I'm going to come out with an update on that and keep you guys posted and let you know when we're going to stop taking entries, what all the new prizes I've added are. I'll go over the rules and how to enter one more time for anybody new. And if you guys can share that out, that'd be fantastic. And I will probably be live. I'll probably be live Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Tuesday, showing off some new mail that I got, some new stickers, giving some people some big shout outs, and just hanging out for a little bit. But I also want to work on coming out with some new content. So stay tuned for that. The last announcement I have before I shut this thing down is, as you can tell, I got some new hats. Hit me up. These are $29.99 shipped. No shipping charge. $29.99. I will ship these hats to you. I got the navy I have. I got the green. These are the trucker hats that are mesh on the back, so they stay cool in the summer. We got black. We got the khaki. I've got a pink, like a breast cancer awareness one, and then a new color that I've never offered before with any of my hats is this kind of chocolate brown.
I like that one a lot.
With khaki on the back. And so if you look at the design, it says Fishing's Good. It says Sunfish King on there. Pretty much my logo. I made the Sunfish King a little bigger so it'd be easier to see with the embroidered. And yeah, they're embroidered, so it's like raised stitching, and they look really cool in person. So just hit me up if you guys are interested. My email's in the description below. I have a few of these available, and I will get more if I need to. So I appreciate everyone for being here. Ted, do you have anything else?
No, man. I'm good. I'll let you close your live off the way you do your thing, and I'm good, man. I'm just sitting back and watching. Yep.
Your dad said enjoy. I think that's your dad, right, Theodore?
Yes, it is. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Enjoyed listening to a great chat. Good night. Well, thanks for being in here. I hope you're doing all right. You said that, surgery went good and everything.
Yeah,
like
everything
that,
went
right?
well.
So I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you guys all for being in here.
See you guys.
My family's in here, so I don't get to see them very often, and it's spring break, so I'm going to end this thing and hang out for a little bit and hopefully have some steak for dinner is the plan. So thank you guys.
You're always eating.
You're always eating, man.
All right. Take care, guys. Good night. I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for being here later, guys.
No problem, brother.
Fishing's good, and I'll catch you next time.